Okay, so let's do a quick voice check here. Drum.
I'm here.
Okay, Thalion must have stepped away from the computer.
Oh, I didn't
Xerac.
hear you. I am here.
I am also here.
Shiv.
Here and present.
Valeria.
I have to restart. I don't hear Mark.
I'll wait for the pop in here. Valeria. Rudy.
Present and accounted for.
Leomorn.
Here and ready.
Okay. Carla, you there?
I'm here. I can hear now. I just had a...
Alright, who would like to do the recap of what happened last time?
I would like to speak from Xerac's perspective of what happened last time,
Sounds good.
if that's okay with you guys.
That is perfectly
please,
fine. Please do.
I would say that I could do it from Rudy's perspective, but we would miss a lot.
Yeah, you might be able to take over the second half if you want, but I'm going to talk about the first half of the session as I remember it, and I'm going to try to remember all the details. I didn't take super good notes, but I kind of went over it in my head. So I'll start. The party stood outside the ruined church and in the small hamlet, looking over the carnage as the large mass of corpses had kind of decomposed into a pile of rotting bodies, and the people inside the church were safe from the threat. However, the price that was paid was very high, as Thalion lay dead. And after Xerac and Valeria's basic outburst of anger and emotion at the professor rising unhurt once again from the bodies that lay on the ground, Xerac let forth a burst of fire that again or instantly downed the professor once again, testing a hypothesis that he couldn't have an unlimited number of lives. That was just unheard of. And why was he okay when Thalion was not? Especially since from the outside it looked like he might have helped cause Thalion being unable to escape his doom, his premature doom, as Xerac saw it. But again, even after he blasted him in the back with a fireball, he still stood up, weakened, but not dead, when that blast should have killed any normal mortal. Valeria stepped up to him and punched him in the face and cracked his head open, and he fell to the ground dead again. This time not rising as himself, but rising as if possessed by some dark creature, some being, and we figured that was the entity that he served, as it sped off into the night sky, kind of laughing at us and thanking us for freeing it. So that's how we now stood around looking at the carnage around us. Dromund started to converse with the people within the church, telling them that it was safe. And Xerac just kind of looked at Garshadow and saw a near human level of emotion coming from this large cat as he lay next to the body of his fallen companion. And his heart immediately went out to the poor lion, as they had bonded over the course of the adventures. Both Thalion and Garshadow had bonded pretty tight with Xerac. And he just looked around at his companion, saying, "There's got to be something we can do." Valeria was heartbroken by her act of rage, and she kind of shook her head, saying that there was nothing that she could have done. And almost in answer to Zerak's cries, the god form of Eucerus appeared behind him, and in his tentacled toadstool-like form, and deep monotonous voice said that he did have a solution. And with him, with Eucerus, came a vision of Kira as well, looking actually rather spry and quite powerful in Zerak's mind, that she didn't seem to be suffering in servitude to Eucerus, that indeed he had rewarded her with great power and purpose. And it was Eucerus who offered that he would be willing to bring Thalion back from the dead if we would pledge, or if Thalion would agree to pledge his soul essentially in service to Eucerus if he were to die again. Zerak looked back and forth from his team members to the vision of Kira and thought that perhaps that wouldn't be such a bad thing. And so he immediately pledged that Thalion would agree to this if Eucerus would bring him back to life. But the rest of the party stood aghast at Zerak's offering, that no way would any of us pledge our souls to this demon god to bring us back to life, that's not what Thalion would want. And Zerak just looked dumbfounded at his party mates, as if, wouldn't they do anything to bring their friend back? But they all kind of steadfastly refused and shook their heads, and no, they wouldn't do anything. It escalated to the point where they said they wouldn't give their souls, and Zerak stood confused because in the evidence that was presented, we weren't offering our souls to Eucerus, we were only offering Thalion's. And that perhaps this was Thalion's great destiny, that he would one day serve Eucerus after his purpose here was complete. And by reviving him, he would be able to complete that purpose and then move on to a greater destiny. But none of the other weak-minded individuals in his party could understand or see forward that far into that potentiality. And so he stood there just disgusted with his party's short-sightedness. And Eucerus said he would refuse unless everyone agreed. So Eucerus then dismissed himself. He left at the party's indecision, as Zerak stormed off, angry at everybody for once again Thalion was dead. And he felt that he owed it to Thalion because Thalion did whatever he could to bring Zerak back to life when he too passed across the veil. And he just felt like all hope was lost. But he felt a vibration and a light contact or reaching out from his book, and knowing his trepidation and fear at having trusted the book in the past and what it had done to literally break his heart by causing his love to destroy an entire town of innocents and look at it like it was a gift to him. He stepped away before he wanted to confront the spirit in the book in front of his party. So he walked away while the rest of everybody else dealt with the people in the church and started to prepare Thalion's body for burial. So Zerak opened up his book and reached out to the spirit in the book, and it responded, and it admitted that it was indeed Saphirion's spirit again. And at first Zerak was mistrustful of it, but it sounded different. There was something in her voice that was different than before. She seemed weak and timid and almost afraid, but she did offer help. There was some arcane magic that could be utilized rather than divine magic to bring Zerak back Thalion back without having to sacrifice his soul in service to a god. But it would require a sacrifice of another type. It would require Zerak to repower Saphirian so that she could complete a ritual that would use up the magic in Thalian's blade in order to provide enough power for the resurrection to occur. Zerak quickly thought that Thalian was a capable fighter even before he acquired his magic blade, and he would be willing to make that sacrifice even more so than perhaps giving his soul up to a god. So, deciding that he was going to just do this himself, he wasn't even going to ask his party mates whether or not they thought this was a good idea, because surely they would shat all over his idea again, even if they were wrong. So, he waited until the party had walked away from Thalian's body and crept around from where he was hiding to see if they had moved his blade, and they had not. So he walked up and picked up the glaive off the ground and stomped away again, with everybody looking at him in confusion. Droman tried to ask him for a moment what it was he was doing, but he almost just he only said that he would just do it himself in answer, and stomped away again. Pulling forth giving his power to Saphirian and pulling forth her spirit, she was able to manifest herself outside of the book. And when she manifested herself, at first she looked tired and sad and almost worn down. But after she had taken on the magic that Zerak sacrificed, she looked fully recovered and healthy and strong. And together, her and Zerak strode back into the church, where they had begun to prepare Thalian's body for a funeral service, basically. And Saphirian strode forth and introduced herself to the rest of the group once again. And rather than attack her, thank goodness they didn't try to do that, as Zerak kind of stood there by her side, trusting that she wouldn't betray them, she performed a ritual that brought breath back into Thalian's lungs. And with a great sigh of pain and then relief, Thalian sat up. And Garshadow was happy that his companion was alive, and even though we were all weak, we decided to, or Zerak was weak beyond belief, and Thalian was weak, and Garshadow was tired. We all spent the night in the church there. As the residents of the church, the parishioners stood in amazement at the miracle that had happened before their very eyes, where a dead man was brought back to life. And then we rested there for the night, and then we asked Thalian how he was feeling, and he said he was ready to continue, even as tired as he was. So we continued on, I believe we took the church people with us, guiding them to the ferry place. I think there was the ferry, and we made our way to an inn there to try to get clues of what was going on, and where Thalian's friend that he had been looking for might have gone off to. And we received a few clues that they might be to the northwest of the ferry in a small village. And so we headed, I think we ended the session where we were heading that direction. After we met Rudy. Rudy introduced herself, and Zerak Zerak was feeling almost exuberant after the success of Thalian's resurrection. So he was acting slightly out of character in that he was he was boasting about the party's previous adventures and exaggerating slightly, but filling Rudy in on some stories of what they had been through, as he took a liking to the young lady who surprised them all by doing a performance with her sword that was graceful and beautiful, like a dance. And he likened it to Thalian's fighting style as well, but even more graceful than Thalian could perform. And I think that she ended up joining us on our adventure to the northeast, to this next village, in order to perhaps gain more stories, as she claimed that she was a blade master who recounted battles in art. And so he thought, or the group immediately took a liking to Rudy, thinking that she should come with so she could perform their story someday. Giving Shiv a little bit of competition, I guess, in the bardic arts. I think that's what I remember so far, so I'm sorry.
That's a very well done, very well done compilation of what happened last time, so there's a lot of detail in there. So definitely give yourself a point of inspiration for that one. That was quite good. And what we're going to do is I'm going to drop you guys back into the Barrowlands.
Oh, I'm sorry, Valeria. I forgot real quick, Mark. I forgot about our.
Oh, it's okay because this is how I'm going to tie it in. So.
Okay, great. I'll let you take it.
You guys are now sitting inside the Farmer's Rest inside Casper's Ferry, drinking ale, telling stories, and somewhat planning what to do next, where to go. And it seems the consensus has been brought about that Appawillow is the next stop. You guys do not expect... Well, you guys don't know what to expect when you get there. Everything has been so vague. Everything has just been rumors, and you're realizing now that mostly everything is rumors because people are scared to leave the walls of their homes and the walls of the cities the further north you go. And out of nowhere, Valeria slaps her hands on the table and stands up, and she screams, "I am not weak!" And that's where we're going to pick up.
Did someone tell her she was weak?
Not that I'm aware of. Valeria, are you alright?
Won't leave me alone.
Who?
He won't leave you alone? Who's he?
Voice. The voice in my head.
Lisa's gonna raise an eyebrow and be like, "You're hearing voices in your head now?" Like, she kind of gets low. Like what Layla was hearing?
I don't know what she was going through now, and I can't pretend this isn't anything serious. Like I've told Xerac, it was right after the whole Lovecraft thing. I've been hearing it. It's been saying dark thoughts. It's been giving me dark thoughts. It's been telling me to be friends, and I don't know what to do.
Take a deep breath.
Sounds like you're being haunted by something. I wonder if it's the thing that was released.
Perhaps she's being haunted by her own conscience, or her deeds have awoken some evil within her that she didn't know existed.
Whatever it is,
That too.
It's making quite the appearance now, isn't it?
Valeria, have you tried confronting it? Talking back to it?
I have. I don't know what to do. Is this what, because of what I did to Lovecraft, is this what I have to pay for what I've done?
Tell me, Valeria, what is the
Maybe
voice
if
in
you
your
did, it
head?
feels like it.
I believe redemption is possible for any sin committed, and if the Silver Lady that you serve feels that what you did was a sin, it seems to me that she should be able to absolve you of that sin if you pay a certain price.
Ooh, this sounds like a great story. Sorry, bad timing.
Perhaps the lady can shed some light onto what you must do in order to acquire penance for a sin that that you believe you have committed. And I kind of look around at the rest of the group and I say, even though in my mind it wasn't a sin, it was a mercy.
Is this
Think about it like this.
Perhaps.
Lovecraft,
But in the eyes of a deity, It could be anything. Maybe
The
what she did was
professor
against
himself.
protocol because she released something else more evil than Lovecraft. Who knows?
He
I'm
was
not
a creature
educated.
tortured by his patron. His patron did not make things easy for him, and Valeria, delivering upon him his final death, released him from being trapped and in servitude to this evil creature. Maybe he had a life before he took on the power of his patron, and maybe that life would have been worth living, but the one in which he was living when we encountered him was pitiful and useless, and only served the ends of the evil creature that was released. So Valeria, you, in my mind, gave Lovecraft peace that he couldn't find on his own.
Maybe. Or you could have doomed his soul. Depends on what his patron is. We don't know what it is, so.
It's a lot of
I was
For all we
trying
know,
to sound
for all we know, Lovecraft could be stuck inside of that body still, trapped inside of that creature's grasp.
I
So
didn't see
suddenly
any
he
of
kind of
Lovecraft in
turns
those
to
eyes.
Elise and puts his finger over his lips and says, "You need to hush, girl. You're not making this any better for her. I'm trying to give her hope, and you're coming up with what-ifs on all the reasons why she should wallow in further darkness."
Oh no, if she did that, then she might get swallowed by it, like you said.
might be
Do you
a little
still
more
feel the lady?
easier to find out what exactly is being said. What is this voice saying, and is it a male voice or a female voice?
I believe it's male, and as I said, it's the same words that Lovecraft used to say about I'm always facing west, and bodies, like as I was saying about my vision and destruction, and it's trying to sway me to his side.
Well then, there's an easy answer. Don't give in.
Well, I don't know if that's easy, Thalion.
Yeah,
No
that's
one
a lot.
can resist voices in their head for very long. Just to make the voices stop, she may do something that she would regret later. And the more she does that she regrets, the further into darkness she might fall.
Bloody hell.
Well, if regret is what's causing this, then there's one solution. Have no regrets.
Or perhaps we can rebalance the scales, Valeria, and if you do something brave and heroic and selfless, you might again feel as if you are blessed by the Silver Lady.
Yeah, a path to redemption. It's better than a path to darkness.
I don't know what to think anymore.
As I'm listening, I'm probably gonna look around the room a bit, just scratching the back of my ear a little. Huh. Very weird. Did none of you hear that?
What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing. Just... I don't know.
Don't tell me you're starting to hear voices in your head too, Leomon.
Well, it sounded like something was right next to my ear, but I figured it was some loon.
I also look around as if something... I look to Leomor and you heard something as well?
Something.
Could you make out what it said?
I'll probably just shake my head real quick and take another gulp from the ale and slam the mug down. Just hopefully, whatever we're here for, we can get through this soon. I'm liking this land less the longer I'm here.
And I look over to Thalion and I say, to Leomorn's point, the lands here are haunted by the dead. And it could very well be that when someone is killed, even just the guilt of their death pervades the air, and that's why we may be hearing things and seeing things that are preying upon our conscience. Maybe it is best that we make our way as soon as possible to try and find your friend and take ourselves out of this place, because I too feel like I might be hearing things from voices that are not here.
Maybe it's because we all are very tired too, and a bit traumatized from what just went down. That could also be eating at us. Just being unsettled.
A good night's rest for you all, and then we will leave for Apple tomorrow. I would still suggest that we be prepared in case of what we see to fall back to this town.
Sounds like a plan.
Valeria, maybe we should order something that could help you get some well-deserved rest. And maybe someone should stay with you just to make sure nothing hasn't pulled over you.
Better safe in numbers than alone.
Fine.
Does Elise want to stay with Valeria?
I believe Elise has a.
Yeah, she has a date. So.
Oh, that's right. Well, I know that Valeria is a proper lady and probably doesn't want to spend the night alone in a room with a male she's not with. But I would offer to set up an alarm outside of her room so that nothing can approach without me knowing about.
There are 4 rooms readily available at this inn, as Thalion already knows. The price for each room is 1 gold per piece, and then you guys also have the stabling fee for your horses and your coach, and the stables will pretty much be full right now, as Talila is going to take in the refugees until some more accommodations can be sort of met out for them.
Oh, crap. Oh, bloody hell. I totally forgot. I think I might have left my supplies caught. Damn it.
I will give the innkeep a platinum piece to pay for all the rooms and whatever we need for the night. Keep the rest for yourself, good man.
And I will actually kind of nudge towards Gar's shadow if Valeria chooses to take a room alone. Have Gar's shadow kind of keep watch on her if she doesn't want any of the guys in the room with her.
That's a good idea.
That's fine.
She should sleep with the big cat. And I'll set an alarm on her door, and I would like to take the room closest to her room, just so I can quickly come to her aid if I hear her call out in the night. And I don't care if people want to sleep in my room with me. I grew up naked in the woods. I'm all good.
I'm not sleeping in the same.
I will share
I'm not being
with
in
you, Zarek. I wish to speak with you anyways.
Okay, so I'll just say those of you that got rooms, just subtract that gold amount if you're going to share. I'll let you guys whisper each other. And we'll say that everybody sort of finds their respective rooms for the night. Zirak, as you're sort of getting ready to just kind of wind down for the night. Looking over your book, you hear at your door.
I approach the door and call through the door. Who is it?
Thalion, go ahead.
you have time to speak?
I do. For you, my friend, any time is time to speak, and I open the door.
As I enter, I'll take a seat. I'll kind of just look at you. My face has kind of been very monotone since I've been back up. You wanted to know what I saw on the other side?
I did, yes. To see if it compared to what it was I saw, perhaps on the other side as well.
It started with flashes of my home. And no, I do not mean this place. This place I spent a little over a year, but it is not my actual home. The great Amaranth Woods, where the elves roam. If I'm not mistaken, I saw, if you're versed enough in a lot of the elven ways, I believe you might know, since you've been around dryads, the Fae Court.
Fascinating. I have heard stories of the court of the Fae, but I have never experienced it myself. I know that the woods in which I grew up with was closely aligned with the Fae, but I never met one from there.
It was an interesting sight. I'm trying to recall what I felt, but I believe that is a side effect from me coming back.
Perhaps what you saw is a vision of where your soul would end up, were you to face your final death. Maybe you are destined to reside in the Fae, the Feywild.
And that's where the next dilemma arises. And I'll actually show Zirak the wound on my chest.
You watch as Stallion already had his half-plate armor kind of loosened, and you see as he starts to unbutton the clasps on his furred leather underneath, and then he pulls up his linen shirt underneath it all, and you see this thick, jagged scar that runs from his belly button, and at some places it's about 2 inches wide, and it has this sort of dark, angry, reddish-brown color to it, almost like a severe burn, and it goes all the way up, just to the bottom of his neckline.
Stallion, that looks fierce. How is it you were able to survive that? Was that, I assume that was, you acquired this scar before your recent resurrection.
This came after the resurrection. I do not feel this. I barely felt anything when I got back up. But I feel this is where something might have been torn away as I came back.
Well, you did.
She did do me a huge favor, as I did need to return to settle things. As we both know, there is a war coming. But looks like I'll have another mission, as not all of me is back here. I may not be able to return to that fake court.
Well, I can tell you the other price that was offered that you could pay in order to continue living here amongst us and find your friend and continue in this journey that we're on was giving your services to Euceris upon your death. If, now that you are here standing in front of me, friend, if you were given the two choices, which would you have picked?
I probably would have accepted either choice, as I owe Sibylla. I would have had to come back to save her.
I felt the same when I was on the other side, that I could not leave Amara to the fates, that I had to return and make sure she knew that I knew she was protected before my final passing. So I thank all of you for bringing me back as well. But I will pledge to you now that whatever it is that is missing from you, that will allow you to spend your eternity in the Feywild, be returned to you. If I can. If there's anything I can do to help, I will.
Seems we're more kindred spirits now than before, both experiencing a lot of similar things.
I feel the same.
I will apologize.
As if you were my true brother.
I will apologize ahead of time. A lot of my actions, I'm going off of the memory of what I remember. But it is hard to feel certain emotions.
Well, it may take a while for you to feel back to your old self again anyway, even if you ever can. I certainly feel different than I did before I died. But I have mostly returned to who I was before, other than the deep sorrow that I carry for Amara and her fate.
But tell me, this thing that emerged from Lovecraft's body, how did it look? There were a couple of images I've seen with the sight of the demons and everything to come. I'm curious if it is one of them.
Wait, let me gather my thoughts here. Mark threw me a bone, or threw me a message, and I'm contemplating that, how to react to that. I'm not going to choose to react to that at the moment. I'm going to note that in my mind. So sorry, repeat your question, Thalion.
With a lot of our dealings we've dealt with, Eucerius' explanations, I had some time to speak with him when we were separated. And then Niatsu, who gave me the vision of her world as the demons invaded. I'm curious if this thing that emerged from Lovecraft is one of those demons, or something just something.
Well, the creature that I saw emerge from his body was nothing short of something out of a nightmare. It was dark and shadowy and tentacled, and looked like an abomination, not something natural, indeed. And it flew away. It took to the skies even without wings.
It appears that it's this thing that's probably tormenting our cleric.
Oh, I certainly hope it's not this thing tormenting our cleric. But it perhaps could be. I only hope that her faith in the Silver Lady is strong enough to counteract whatever darkness is inside her as well. I have to believe that, having witnessed Valeria's immense powers derived from her faith, that and the gifts that the Silver Lady has bestowed upon her, that she will be able to resist this evil as well, using the power of her faith. I think we just need to bolster her faith and make sure that she believes in herself as much as we believe in her.
I agree. If there is a deity that can, it must be the Silver Lady. It is, in fact, the one that my father followed.
Well, thank you for sharing your time on the other side, Thalion. If you wish to stay here in the room with me, you're more than welcome. Since it's closest to Garshadow anyway, you might feel okay staying here. There is another bed, I imagine, in this room. Is there 2 beds in the room?
There are 2 beds. I'll say there are 2 beds.
Good, then. Yes, you're welcome to take that bed.
I will take you up on that offer. That way we can listen out for her. I may just take some time to create a salve to aid us in what's to come tomorrow.
Very well. I will keep my lantern light dim as I study my books tonight. And I will turn in a little early, because I'm pretty tired myself. But I am a wizard. I take time every night to study a little bit. I'll do that.
And I'm just
Shiv?
going to craft the Starflower compress, Mark.
Okay. Make sure to subtract the gold amount, and that's going to be 4 hours of your long rest.
Yep.
Shiv, I'm going to leave everything you do inside that room up to your imagination, because that's something that I will not do as a DM, is to say what your character will. I do not want to take those liberties with your characters.
Do the initial chat that leads to it.
We don't know what it's going to lead to. That's the thing.
Yeah,
We know what it's leading to.
It's just, for all you guys know, it's just dinner and a nice, lovely little chat that she's having with this poor guy.
Ultimate swerve.
That's about it. Takes his money. Is there any sort of incentive to what you're trying to do with this situation? Are you trying to angle for more information out of him? Or is this just something that you're...
And just to, be friendly with the locals.
Okay. Okay. Night draws on. Most of you find a good night's sleep. Others, it is quite fitful. Thalion, as you finish your compress and finally lay down on the bed and try to get some rest, the only thing that greets you is darkness. Just a deep black. No dreams. No thoughts. Just ink. Leomorn. The dream that greets you is awesome. Magnanimous. Grandeur. You sit upon a throne of power. The world prostrates themselves before you, all paying you homage, as a voice whispers to you, "This could all be yours." Valeria, cuddled next to Garshadow, you bury your face in his mane and just wish and pray to the lady to deliver you from this entity that seems to be infatuated with you. The sleep takes you, and you find yourself again floating above the ocean. This vast city laid out before you. from either side at almost breakneck speed are these large whale-like creatures that seem to break the water and dive, moving in your general direction, and they are massive. The closer they get, they are not what you think they are, but in fact large, spiked, gnarled, midnight black tentacles, breaking the water, rushing towards you. And you watch as they break and shoot their points coming up towards you, and you gasp out in breath as a hand grabs your shoulder and turns you. Standing before you is an armored figure, noble in stature. The armor glitters with emerald green light, and you see is almost naturally growing off of the plate. The helm, the hands are ivies and flowers. This large green knight just stares at you. And he asks you a single question. Will you fight? You wake up. Garshadow sort of looking at you, laying down, kind of keeping a side eye at you, like wondering what's going on. You're sweaty. Your heart's beating fast. You don't know if you want to go to bed again. Morning comes with gratitude to some of you, and a little bit too soon for most of you, as it feels good to sleep in a bed again. Not on the ground in the tent in the rain, but a dry room fueled by a small hot wood stove. And this is a comfort that has been sorely missed. The smell of breakfast wafting through the door cracks as it comes towards you. One by one, you all singularly make your way down into the main room, finding your seats. What would you guys like to do?
I need coffee.
Yeah, make that too, please.
Valiant will kind of just order a drink, and he's preparing to get ready to leave.
Yeah, I'll have a cup of tea and perhaps a biscuit, because that's what we do in civilized places: tea and a biscuit. And then I will go with Valiant and help prepare the horses and say good morning to Ophelia and bring her an apple.
Okay, so we'll just say that you guys make your preparations. There is coffee and tea available. The coffee is quite expensive, 5 silver a cup. It is kind of a rarity and sort of a luxury item in this part of the woods, but it is there. And you guys take a good hearty breakfast, fried potatoes and peppers. What seems to be a mishmash of what seems to be like roasted parsnips and squash, all mingled together with the delicious and tasty pork fat that adorns almost everything around this place. And you guys all meet outside. The horses are ready to go. The wagon is set up, and you guys are ready to leave the road and head to where?
Apple Willow, I believe, was where they last played it.
Okay. There's questioning glances from the guards that are sort of stationed at the gate, but they know that there's really nothing they can do to stop you or to keep you here without causing some sort of ruckus. I mean, their job is to protect from without, not to trap people within. So the gates are opened, you are ushered out, and the gates quickly close almost as the wagon is sort of riding through. and you guys begin to make your way through the deserted farmland around Casper's Ferry, a place that should be alive with farming and commerce, since this is really the only place in this area in the Riverlands in this upper delta where farming and commerce can actually take place. It's not surrounded by woods. This place was cleared long ago for this very specific purpose, yet the fields are unmanned, overgrown, and just the general fear of the city oozes and sort of pours, and you can feel the aura from the place as you drive northwards. It takes you a good half a day, and you start to come upon a town. Buildings standing like shadows. There doesn't seem to be any life whatsoever within this place. Animals, no birds, and you guys rumble on through. You sort of stop near the edge of the town. Look about again. Zirak, you sort of crane your ear to try to listen for noises.
As we pause, I want to actually check that area that we stop in for tracks.
On the outside of town?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a perception check. Zirak, you do not hear anything, but that is when you hear moonlight. You see something.
I will close my eyes and try to perceive what moonlight perceives.
You close your eyes and there's that feeling of weightlessness, like you're falling backwards into water, until you open them. And then you're seeing through the stark, razor-sharp focused eyes of the owl. And you see in the town somebody sort of squatting, dark clothing pack on its back. And you see that he's looking something on the ground, picks it up with his hand, turns it over, drops it, and then sort of moves his hands through the long grass in a corner looking for things. And you watch as he looks up at the bird, and he stands up. Hey Chris, go ahead and introduce your character, please. Describe what they're saying.
Hello, all. Basically, you see a half-elven figure, tightly muscled, broad chest with leather with a longbow on the back, 20 arrows, a large silver shining elvish type great blade in the back. As he stares up at your hawk as it flies around. Does not go to shoot the hawk down, just curiously watches as it circles around.
It's an owl on silent wings, not a hawk.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so I will open my eyes and say, it looks like someone up ahead has lost something. They seem to be searching through the grass for something.
A survivor?
Jeez, that was loud. Perhaps a survivor? Yes, I see no other enemies around it.
Guess it wouldn't hurt to pick up another stray.
Well, he looked quite capable, muscled and armed. Let's find out if he's friendly.
You snap the reins, the wagon rumbles on, followed by the riding horses. And you just see this lone figure sort of standing there, tall and proud, kind of watching as you guys approach.
Are you lost?
I'll hold my arm my hand up as they approach. No, actually. Now that you're here, I believe I found what I was looking for.
And what was that? If you don't mind us asking.
I was told you would come. My lord bids me to join you. A great darkness rises and the balance of nature is threatened. During such times, us war callers are summoned. I've been summoned to serve here with you.
Recalling a little bit of what Zarek described when Ysirius stepped forward, I kind of then cocked my head. Who do you serve?
I serve one with many names. Many names as you give nature and things within it. He is known as the Shade Lord. The Lord of the Deep Wood. Ysirius.
I let out a low whistle, and I look over at the rest of the group and say, "See, it can't be all bad."
We're gonna take a 5-minute break right there.
Sounds great.
I need to use the restroom really quick. That was awesome.
Yeah, I had to
Just think, Stallion, that could be you.
Ever since our fight with the back in Brayburn, Valiant actually hasn't seen Ysirius as evil. After the talk he had with them and cryptic things he said.
I don't necessarily see him as evil either. I see him as a force of nature, which can be both good and bad.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I see.
Yeah, I'll discuss it more when he asks questions when the break's over. I loved your recap, Ken, because I was like, oh my god, it's perfect.
Yeah, I do admit it was definitely from Zirak's point of view. I was doing the recap, so just kind of that's where he was coming from and what he was feeling.
Yeah, I was smiling the entire time, so that makes a perfect intro. One thing you don't see in my picture that I look like, there's a necklace around my neck. It's made out of leather and stone. And on the stone is a symbol, which Mark will have a card for you guys to see. And my hands are bound in like leather straps with runes on them. Yep, there it is, right there.
Typing so hard.
This just gets more interesting than normal.
Okay, do we have everybody back?
I am here.
I'm here.
Here.
Thank you for allowing me to take that break. It's much needed. So we'll pick up with Zarek saying, see? He can't all be that bad.
Right.
You think Ysirius is bad?
Our companions do. I am not so certain anymore.
He is simply the balance, and the fear of nature when that balance is interrupted.
This does sound similar to a suspicion I had. And he told you we were coming here.
I was sent by my war caller. She told me that you would be here, and that my lord has interest in you in the coming battle. I was asked to take a part in your group, and give my life if necessary to defend you. I will bring the fury of nature down upon your enemies, so long as we are a part of this journey together.
And can you tell us a little bit more about what might be coming? As we've only heard bits and pieces and rumors that some darkness is coming, but we can't define it as of yet.
No, I was only told the darkness is rising and to prepare. And then there has been troubling whispers about the end, which I still do not know what those mean.
The end, you say?
Yes.
But this has nothing to do with the coming war.
I'm afraid I do not know. We'll find out together. You'll have to bear with me. I've been training and in the wild for some time, so as we move through towns and villages, I do not really have patience for or care for societal norms. I may stand out a little bit. I won't warn you.
I think you'll fit right in, friend. As you can see, we have one that prefers the mask covering his face, and another that has horns coming out of the top of her head, and I mean, you're in good company.
I'll kind of move the drapes behind me so the others can actually see who we're talking to.
We even have a lion in our party.
I noticed. Magnificent beast.
How does Garshadow react to the newcomer?
You see that Garshadow regards the newcomer as if he's regarding one of you. He feels comfortable around this person.
That's the only reaction I ever need. I'm convinced.
I'm gonna actually.
In my own mind, I'm thinking you should have at least growled at him until he gave him something to eat.
I'll turn towards. I'm gonna turn towards Dalian real quick, and I'm gonna give my head a slight bow and say, I've seen you a similar connection to nature in some ways. I will admit that long ago I gave up my name for my lord. I no longer go by the name I once had. That name no longer exists to me. But I know that to travel through society requires names. I wish to ask you a favor. For the time I'm with you and your companions, I ask you to give me a name.
To give you a name.
Only Thalian, and only from out of respect. I call myself Snowball.
I'll have to think on this one. If I'm to give you a name, it should be a proper one.
That's why I only want Thalian to do it, and I want it to be a serious thing. That's why I'm ignoring all the rest of you.
I love it.
That is fine. I will wait. I'll wait your naming.
What are we supposed to call you if you don't have a name? You?
For now, that will suffice.
Since we found you out here, though, I do not know where you were sent from, but have you been through Applewell yet?
No, I stopped here to wait for you, as I was bidden. Mark, did I notice anything though while I was been here outside?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay.
Sorry, I was updating your token really quick. What you noticed was all the doors to all the hovels and buildings were open. None of them closed. And with your 18, as you sort of looked closer, you saw what seemed to be lines coming from outside, like scrapes up into the homes.
Okay. What I could barely tell, looks like all the doors in the village are open, and looks like lines that go from the outside into the homes, as if something either was dragged or just created a furrow in the ground as I went into the house. I have not looked inside the homes yet.
I guess we should be on our way. We can talk on the road.
You guys are in Apple Willow, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, we're basically outside Appleville, yeah.
okay, I didn't know we were finally there.
We have arrived, Dalian. We are here.
Dalian's like, no, I'm pretty sure we gotta keep going.
Okay, then with that, I would suggest someone stay with the cart, but I definitely want to thoroughly search the town, see if I can find any sign of Sibylla, or at least something she may have left.
I'll stay with the cart this time, assuming that Greenpeace over here is going to hang out with the cart too, because he doesn't like people. So I'll send Moonlight to kind of stay above Thalian's head, and every once in a while I'll check in on what's going on.
I'll go with that one.
I'm gonna go hop out and just start searching on my own.
Oh, well then I'll stay and guard the carts in solitude, perhaps. Or maybe Shiv will stay with me and we can share stories of romance and such.
Oh, I didn't mean I didn't like people. I just don't like how it feels inside cities and villages. It's so rigid and unalive.
Well, if you'd like the company, Zarak, sure, I'll stay with you. And we can guard the cart.
Sure. Maybe you can we can work on a new story for you to kind of compete with Rudy's performance.
Drummond, so are you looking for spoils of war
Well,
here?
that sounds like a good plan.
Yes, I will be looking for that as well.
Okay, Thalian and the one who serves, what are you guys looking for?
What do you want to do with that, man? Check the houses.
Definitely want to check the houses. I'm watching for any... trying to think what he would look for the spot that she was here. I wouldn't know how to translate them, but I would keep an eye out for any druidic signs that may have been placed up. But I'm watching for those kind of weird prints that we saw outside Casper's Ferry also.
Okay, why don't you guys go ahead, those of you that are running around looking for stuff, give me investigation checks.
Like I say, I was gonna follow with Valeria and try to help her scout some of the areas out.
Okay.
Let me do another one with Talion. Oh, no, I did better roll last time.
Okay, Drummond, as you sort of walk about, you'll pop into a small hovel here, look about, kick over a few things. You're kind of getting the idea that these were maybe poor farmers that didn't have a lot of monetary wealth, that maybe lived day to day, and that their livelihood of farming and getting what's around them probably kept them up. But you do manage to find a tin underneath, and inside there is just a measly 5 copper that is just sort of hidden away underneath a small end table. And you could perhaps think that maybe this was this person's fortune that they had stashed away.
I need better hunting grounds.
Thalion, one who serves, you look into some homes, and the things look like they've been untouched. Thalion, you watch as he points down to the ground, and you can see what seem to be these furrows and these scrapes leading back into the houses. And you sort of follow it, and once they hit the wood floor inside, it kind of disappears.
Can I try to pry the wood up?
Sure. Valeria, you're sort of walking about trying to keep yourself busy, thankful that the voices have not come today. You walk about and you hear sort of Leomorn in tow, kind of looking around before you sort of hear Leomorn kind of trip over what seems to be a rock, sort of ruining his sort of investigative look about. But as you look back to him and you look down, you see something that you missed. Small indentations in the ground. You walk back up and you look to them, and you see what seems to be the barest remnants of what seems to be a small, childlike handprint on the ground.
Is it the what's that? Kind of like the ones of Lisa, or maybe it was a child who was dragged away. I don't know for sure, but
yeah, it's definitely not as well defined before. Along the riverbank, when you guys went and looked at them, they were pretty fresh. But this just looks like a handprint on the ground, though it is small, fingers skinny, almost that of a child. Chris, I'm just going to call you nameless.
Actually, I'm gonna change it to Warbringer since that's my calling.
Okay.
Can I lift the wooden floors up to see if...
Are you just going to kind of hack at them, or are you going to...
Is there any kind of ridge where I can just grab and try to pull them up without trying to hack at them? Like indentations, cracks?
Yeah, so we'll say that you reach down and you start pulling up floorboards in the area where you're at, and you see that it is dirt underneath. What's your passive perception?
Not good. I'm at 10. I'm gonna try to perceive harder.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
While he's doing this, I kind of want to whistle for Guard Shadow and just say,
Perfect.
Sniff for Sibylla.
Wow, so you're trying to pick up a month-old scent. Do you have anything of Sibylla's that he could use for a scent?
I try the leather.
Okay. He has advantage on perception checks with smell. This is definitely at a disadvantage with a high DC, just because the scent would be so old. But go ahead and roll regularly and see what you get. Warbringer, as you kneel down and you start pulling up one plank, 2 planks, something catches your periphery. And you look down, and under the bed you see what seems to be a mound pushed back into the shadows of this unlit hovel, and you focus and your dark vision comes in, sort of fighting the gray light coming in through the door. And you can see where it looks like the wood underneath has been pulled away and there is dirt piled around it.
So underneath the bed, you said there's a mound with dirt around it, and the wood is missing? I mentioned to Thalion I see a mound of something underneath the bed.
Seeing as me and Garshal didn't find anything, I will come take a look at this mound.
You can see that Garshadow is trying, but the scent is definitely old, and the letter itself has exchanged hands as you let your party members read it. So their scents on it are a lot stronger than what Sibylla's would have been the last, because you imagine that thing has some mileage on it, as the scent on that is probably 2 months old.
Worth a shot.
Definitely worth a shot.
So I'll bend down and take a look at this mound. Does it look familiar?
You guys sort of move the bed, and you look down and you see that there is a small crater that is coming up from underneath this bed close to the wall where the wood has seemed to be pushed up. Though they're not broken, they are sort of whole, but some of them are warped and bent. Some have cracked, but it doesn't look like as if something hacked its way in. It looks like something might have quietly pushed its way in.
So maybe we have it wrong. Maybe things didn't come in. They came in this way and left, dragging whatever behind.
I wonder if these exist in all the houses.
You guys go through, searching the houses, and in each one you find areas where there are these small craters, either underneath a bed, back behind what seems to be like a closed, rickety pantry door. Almost all of them have them. And they seem to all be just craters. No open gaping holes, just an indentation where this place was destroyed.
Where are the lines going? Where are the lines then going that leave the houses?
You go outside and you follow each one to the sort of end of where the lines started. And at those areas you can see where the rain has sort of filled in what looks to be puddles. And it's very hard with the constant rain that just keeps to be falling, but you seem to be getting the idea that perhaps people that were outside might have been drugged into the house.
Are these mounds like big enough for us to actually move through them?
Yeah, tunnels, yeah.
It's eerily similar to the size of the ghoul tunnel that you guys sort of found. But it is, like I said, a crater. It just seems to be a bowl of dirt where the native soil has been disturbed.
I'll gather everyone so we can show them what we found.
I'll mention to Elise that I caught a glimpse of something they were investigating through Moonlight's owl eyes, and perhaps we should join them.
I'll just say that for
All right.
expediency that you guys came out of the first house and said you found something, because it would be kind of odd as everybody was just kind of watching the Warbringer and Thalion going from house to house, not saying a word, and then coming out saying, "We found something."
Appears there may be a route underground. Everyone's been drugged down mounds similar to when we found the ghouls.
Maybe they have a nest somewhere, like what we accidentally stumbled into.
I suggest we secure the cart and maybe take a look down. There might be still some survivors.
Alright.
If you guys give me 10 minutes, I can perform alarm as a ritual and not use the spell slot around the carts and horses so that we'll know if anything approaches them.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Excellent, thank you. That also, since that's an abjuration spell of first level or higher, activates my ward.
Is that like a damage shield?
It is a damage shield. I am the tankiest wizard in the world. I have 37 hit points right now.
Nice.
Give me a second.
It can be up front with me.
If I level up one more time, I can actually move that ward to my allies and protect my allies from damage with it.
Okay, so you guys begin to, excavate the crater in one of the houses?
Yes.
Do you have a shovel?
No.
I reach into
Okay.
the bag of holding and say shovel to see if a shovel comes out.
If I distinctly remember, you have already turned that thing over and looked inside
It's worth a shot.
when you first found it. So it's very sneaky of you, Douglas, but I remember. And there is definitely no shovel inside. It's going to take you guys a bit, as you guys are kind of doing this with...
Does anyone have Mage Hand? I thought one of our party members had Mage Hand.
I do.
I do.
Just use Mage Hand to dig the frickin' hole, dude. You can just sit there and move it, like, with a wave of your hand, and Mage Hand the whole time.
It would still take quite a while, because it's only one hand.
I've got one as well.
I mean, don't you have
Well,
one?
we can sing songs while the Mage Hands are working, like, hi-ho, it's off to work we go.
Oh,
the
shut
Mage
up
Hands
with
go and
that
dig the
song,
hole.
you
Hi-ho,
bloody gits.
hi-ho.
Okay, so the two casters produce their mage hand, and with the power of one very weak magical humanoid, you watch as millimeters and inches of dirt are being moved at an excruciatingly slow pace. Zirak whistling and singing all the while.
You know
Hours
you
pass.
Hand,
I was about to
Zach.
say, Valiant would get impatient, and him and Garsha will probably start helping.
Okay.
I'll make some tea and offer people some fish if they'd like.
I'd start helping because
God damn it.
I don't. This is like worse than watching like the worst, slowest thing ever. So I'm gonna probably help too.
And I have a name for you now, Warbringer.
Okay.
Rovanian is Elvish for wild.
Oh, awesome. Can you spell it for me? Nice. I like it.
Value row for short.
Sure. It's a borrowed name while I'm with you anyway.
Row your boat gently down the stream.
With the help of some other people joining in and sort of aiding the mage hands, it takes you guys a good 2 or 3 hours to dig down towards the point of the collapse. And at the point of the collapse, you begin to open up a void that goes down into a dark tunnel. Your dark vision begins to settle in as you focus, and you see that below you is a cave. And that is when the scent hits you. This very deep, musty, ammoniated scent that makes your eyes water, and kind of makes you gag as it's just sort of punched you in the face really quickly. Think of like the most nastiest, unkempt dog kennel, where nothing's picked up and everything is just sort of left there. And that's kind of the scent that is impacting you, though concentrated, quite a bit.
I grab the cloth I've had since way back when and kind of wrap it around my face and kind of look to the others. It's gonna be one of those days again.
Oh, not again.
Do you often spend time in deep, dark, smelly tunnels?
Great.
That's more than we'd like.
Yeah, let's just say we've been here quite a few times before.
Oh, then
Elise is gonna wrap her head with her hoodie.
We'll say that Thalion ties off his hempen rope onto one of the foundation posts on the side of the hovel, sort of pulling on it and yanking on it with a sort of satisfactory nod, and you kind of drop the rope inside and you descend. Again, there's the issue of the 500-pound lion in the room trying to get down this hole. But for expediency, we'll just say it takes a lot of finesse and a little bit more time to get Garshadow into the tunnels. As one by one you all descend into this just nasty, sloppy cave system.
Can I just kind of float down with my wings?
It's definitely not wide enough for you to furl your wings
Okay.
and float down.
Okay. On task.
And here we go. Oh, wait, before I do that, I need to make sure everything...
Like that you said that like the Joker.
I was just about to say that.
You want to know how I got these scars? My father was an evil man. I watched that the other day. Such a good movie.
Yes.
Kill you? I don't want to kill you.
Hi.
You complete me.
See, now I think I should have made a villain like that for Ken's game. If I was better with riddles, I'd try and play someone like the Riddler.
So I should probably turn on my light. It is dark in here.
I don't know if this music is playing or not.
Yep, I can hear it.
Okay. I'll let you guys position yourselves. I put the tankiest wizard in the world up front because that's his thing. And yeah, it is completely dark inside. For the sake of what's underneath your feet, as you look, it is soupy, it is sloppy. This is considered difficult terrain. The size of the tunnels themselves are cramped. Maybe just enough to walk almost single file. It is claustrophobic. And it is definitely not up to OSHA standards.
Whose idea was it to come down here?
I think all of us now at this point.
Don't complain, let's just proceed forward.
Zirak, did you want your light on you?
It's on me right now, but it's on top of me. So I was gonna move Moonlight there.
Okay. I can't see it on you. Oh, I see it behind you.
That works. Now I have me and my light and moonlight. Yeah, I just gotta put my.
Your light's behind you, Valeria, so just highlight your character and you
Light's
can.
not.
Hey, Mark, I don't see anything at all. I don't have like tokens on the screen or anything. I don't see anything on the screen.
Oh, damn it! I didn't pull you on there. Sorry. I know it's been.
I have dark vision. Somehow I gave myself dark vision. I got tired of not having it.
Does this slope down, Ken? Where I'm, or Ken,
It's
Mark,
because
where I'm
it's
sitting?
because you changed your name again. That's why. So it reset the token.
I see it now.
You should be able to see now. You see that there's a slippery sort of slope that leads to a lower tunnel that's probably like 2 feet down.
Watch your steps, everyone.
Oh dear.
When you said the ground is all soupy and messy.
Yeah, it's you're sliding around. Think of slush but mud.
I'm gonna kind of look along the walls, see if I notice any like claw marks or anything.
You look along the walls and you notice multiple claw marks.
Does it look like
Maybe
they
it's
may
just
be
squirrels.
heading in a specific direction?
They're going up and down.
Can I listen and see if I hear anything at all?
Yeah, give me a perception check. Oh, these tokens are being weird.
I do like the ambient music.
I'm just going to keep it behind you, Valeria, but there's your light. I made it bigger so you can see. For some reason, it won't stay on the front of your token, but... You hear the sound of what seems to be water dripping. That's it. There's no real breeze down here. In fact, it is quite humid. The air is thick. It's heavy. You can almost move your hand in front of you and feel it cutting through the humidity. And you're sort of praying for the cool breeze of the forest to come through and cleanse this place of the reek that is assaulting your nostrils.
I'll turn to Thalia and say, yeah, you've had experience. I defer to you where we should go.
I don't see many signs leading to one way or the other, but maybe we should try going up first.
Is it wrong that I'm starting to think back to that one tunnel?
Stallion is just leaving everybody in the dust.
Hey!
Stallion, Valeria, you begin to hear noise.
Oh.
Chittering. Loud chittering begins to grow as splashes hit the water. You look down the tunnel, Valeria, and you see what seems to be a moving carpet rushing in your direction. Stallion, you hear the same as a moving carpet turns the corner. We're going to roll initiative.
Oh no!
Wait, what? And there they go.
As nobody said they were moving stealthily through here. You guys are making a lot of noise.
How high is this tunnel?
It's definitely not high enough to fly. I mean, this is cramped. At some points, you actually have to, like, duck a little bit to make it underneath the low point before you can stand fully back up.
Oh, boo. I was gonna go with the spider legs, but...
Yeah, mine borked, but I got a 15.
Better than most people.
And curious how you're gonna do this, Mark, because if that moved right into that spot, it would trigger my reaction.
That's fine. Were you expecting that to come there?
He was expecting something, and then if he started hearing the chittering,
I should have said it was a little girl, and then you would have triggered your reaction. And you would kill.
I was thinking more rats, so when you said chittering, I was like, oh god, it's either more rats or zombies.
It's just a little girl chittering.
Oh god. Sounds like straight out of a Japanese horror film.
So, let me start rolling here.
Actually, wait, did my number show up, or...?
I don't see you on the initiative
God dang it.
token.
Should I roll initiative again? Because it kind of...
Just roll again with your token selected, and then you'll be able to change your number on the...
Alright.
should I roll the reaction swing?
At least you're watching this out of your dark vision, coming from the shadows, what seems to be a moving carpet of animals sort of crawling over one another to get to you. Thalion, go ahead and make your attack. Okay, go ahead and roll your damage. So that's 6 points. Elise, go ahead.
So, I see the animals from a little bit of a distance. From behind Leomorn, right? Not in front of him? Because I don't see anything. Right. Yeah. She's definitely gonna shoot at the one.
Pig on the map.
I don't. That thing. Oop, oop. Not letting me ping it? Weird. It's the one that she can see.
This one.
Yeah. Yeah, number 1.
Okay, go ahead and make your. Okay, so the 8 misses and it sort of flies off to the side and just kind of sticks to the side of the muddy wall as the rats continue to move.
Dang it. Leomorn behind you. And that's gonna be her turn.
Okay. At least they're going to make a bite attack.
Alright.
Missing you into 6 as they start to sort of try to pile up and move up your legs, trying to kind of surround and swarm your body.
Not this shit again.
Leomorn.
Alright. Now that I see that they're rats. I hate rats. I'm gonna tighten my glove and cast the where is it? Ray of Frost on the rats on Elise.
Okay.
Better not hit me.
Just hold still for 1 second.
Get it off, get it off, get it off.
14 hits.
Yes.
You watch as your Ray of Frost sort of spills over them like a fire extinguisher, and you watch as some of them sort of solidify, turn to ice, and kind of plop like stones into the mud.
I didn't know this thing worked on rats. Nah, good to know.
Ew. Gross and cold.
Is that your turn?
I'm probably gonna move back about 1 just to get a better view. And
Okay.
that's all.
Moon.
Moonlight will twitch in fear and shiver and take the dodge action on my shoulder.
Okay. I thought Moonlight would get hungry.
That's what I thought. Now.
I made ratsicles.
This is like Golden Corral, right? To now.
Well, these rats are much bigger than what Moonlight is used to hunting, so it's almost as if the rats are getting revenge against Moonlight for hunting at night.
Yeah. Thalia, this carpet comes in, and they just begin to envelop your body, crawling all over you, trying to bite at you. For 3. Oh, rats are so bad. And they just can't seem to sort of scrabble and find the purchase to kind of get at your soft vital areas as you're sort of using your hand now in succession with your polearm to kind of rake them off your body, like you're brushing off ants. Newly crowned Rovanian.
I'm going to move ahead. Can I move to here?
You can.
And then I'm going to channel the fury of nature and rage.
Thalian, through your panic and trying to get these rats off of you, you watch as Rovanian comes up, pulls forth his great sword, and from his body you see what almost seems to be a steam light begin to come out of the pores of his skin and sort of surround him in this kind of white aura.
I'll try to kill these rats that are around his feet and around.
An 11 will.
Does it hit? I didn't actually hear you.
11 hit.
It's radiant.
Wow, that was max on that
Wow.
radiant. Okay, so that is... Okay. Give me a second, Thali. I'm going to move you out of the way. You manage to cleave almost all the body. The power pulsing off of your sword and your body as you pull it down through scurries most of them, and you see that there's only maybe a handful left clinging to Thalian's body.
I'll try to, I guess, finish them off then, if possible, since the link is in reach right now.
10 hits.
Oh, wow, these guys have low AC.
Yep, just rat swarm. With the expert wrist movement and flicks of a professional butcher, you carve around Thalian's body as if you're carving a Christmas ham, and you expertly dispatch the swarm that was trying to get over on his body.
Am I even able to see these right now, or are they around the corner and I can't see them? The other ones over here.
You do not see those ones at the moment.
Okay, then what I'll probably do is, because I also saw the ones attacking our fellow group members, I'm probably going to go back towards that direction so I can move back there again.
Okay.
Now your owl can feed. Okay, I'm done.
Lamorn, once again, you are covered with things that are trying to bite you.
Oh, nope, bad.
See if I can roll higher than a 3.
Sure you don't want to miss any more chunks there, Lemon?
I did roll higher than a 3, but only by 3 more. So the 6 comes again, and you're flailing your hands like, get away! And they're just crawling all over you.
No. Those are not a pack of nuts. Those are not a pack of nuts. Get out.
Thalian, a new swarm has rounded the corner and is now covering your body.
Be gone, you filthy things.
Rolling at 11. Oh my god. Oh. One of them days. Ah, but this is where it gets fun. 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to leave him out here, but you watch as you're already covered as more rats round the corner and now begin to pile over your body, finally letting me able to possibly hit you. They get to roll with advantage now. 16 probably still misses.
Still misses.
And but yeah, you are now covered literally in a Cruella de Vil fur coat of rats. You feel the weight of them, the stink of them, the wetness of the fur. It is not a good situation. You feel them nibbling at your ears, trying to force their way into your mouths. Yeah, not good.
Rag's still over my mouth.
Garshadow.
Garshadow! Bite them! Eat them!
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. Carla's never gonna want to play in one of my games again. 11 hits. And you're doing that, we'll say you're doing that to red 3.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the Xerax special at any moment here. It's at the end of Garshadow's turn.
It is.
Okay. Rudy.
Rudy is absolutely miserable right now.
Because Rudy cannot see.
Oh, there's no lights here.
Once you get out into the tunnel, you start to pick up the light being sort of shot out by Valeria and Xerac. But when you first entered in, it was not.
She also hates confined spaces, and the first thing you do is throw her in one. So she's going to draw her blade, and she's going to be like, ew, 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 and she's going to poke at Red.
"19 definitely hits. Do you get extra attack as College of Sword?
That's next level. So I'm just like, I'm brushing these rats off with my sword.
Yeah. Elise, it is a different sort of sensation as you're watching and feeling the scimitar literally inches away from your own face and skin, slicing down at these rats that are trying to call up.
Yeesh! Whew. That was a close call. I don't think I need a clean shave today, thank you.
Don't worry, I'm a professional.
They all say.
Elise already knows how to shave. Xerac taught her, and
Yeah, that's exactly why she said sure. That's what they all say.
Long story. I'll tell you once we get rid of these bastards.
Now, can I move out of these things that are on me, or are they still on me if I move?
Let's see. The swarm can occupy creature space and vice versa, and the swarm can move through any opening large enough for a tiny rat. The swarm can't regain hit points. I mean, it's hard to be like trying to move off. You'd almost have to use your action to brush them off so they're not swarming on you. But it's not like you can move through them like a mist or water, as they're swarming on your body.
Okay, I will just swing at them.
– 17 hits. Okay, we'll stick with red 3.
With the obsidian.
16 hits.
And then, because Garshadow is next to me and saw me attack, he will use his reaction to bite at them.
Okay. 20.
And that's my turn.
Very good turn. There's still some token rats sort of hungrily holding on to you, but most of them have sort of been shredded and are kind of down on the ground now. Valeria. You hear Thalion sort of shouting out as he's being covered in rats. You look down and see that Lamorn is covered in rats, and you see that Rudy is desperately trying to keep another swarm from climbing on top of Elise.
She's going to send out a sacred flame at the rat near Elise and Leomorn. Yeah.
Okay. So you want to do the one on Leomorn? Oh shit. Let me toggle normal and do that again.
Dang it.
Okay, well, we would have went with the 14, so we'll just say the 14, and they barely make it. As they're sort of... It's hard for you to find a place to sort of aim in the area without fearing that your magic might in some way harm Leomorn in the process.
Okay. As a bonus action, I call out my spiritual weapon, and I will place it... Here's my handos.
Oh no. The red triangle of death.
I just move it right over here.
Valyria and Xerac have entered berserk mode.
Other. Here. That's 30 feet away. 5, 10. Yep, and gonna try and hit.
And this is the same one on Leomorn? 21
Yes.
definitely hits.
For 7 force damage.
So just because it's Leomorn, and he always gets covered in crap, Leomorn, you watch as the illuminated glowing pink Pegasus of Valyria's divine power flies down, coming through the top of the cave, rearing, turning around and bucking, and you sort of flinch as you hear these wet popping sounds around you. And you look and you see that you are covered now in what's
Oh no!
rat blood and fur, as these small rats in this swarm have seemingly exploded from the force damage done by the spiritual weapon.
Sorry!
Oh, part of the hazard pay, I assume.
And then I say where I'm at.
Okay, very good turn. I'm going to move you back down, Leomorn.
Alright.
Go.
I didn't know the rest were there.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So let me see what their intelligence. Okay, they have an intelligence of 2, and they see what seems to be a medium-sized horse directly in front of them. And they are going to sort of attack and try to swarm onto this pink horse and completely not do any harm to it whatsoever. Drummond. Master Drummond, are you there?
I'm here. I just had food delivered.
It is time for you to kill things.
We're gonna attack group number 2 up there.
Oh, stabby indeed. That definitely.
I'm just gonna start making a rat kebab on my rapier there.
Yeah, awesome. These are the ones that are swarming Thalion, correct?
Is Thalion still getting swarmed there?
Yeah.
I was attacking number 2.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll pick him off Thalion.
Okay. So.
I'll be very disappointed if Moonlight does not take the advantage of a feast after this is over.
And then I'll cunning action, disengage, move back to Valyria.
Moonlight typically eats field mice, rats are a tiny bit larger and probably a lot less tasteful.
Yeah, and these are pretty feral, hungry things. Drummond comes in and sort of like a master sewer with a needle, just flicks his wrist, and with every wrist flick just impales 6 rats. And then flourishes it and throws it down on the ground with a sickening plop, 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 as they all sort of hit before he kind of bows his head and kind of sneaks back into the back of the line towards the middle. Zirak.
So Zirak had been toying with the idea of producing a blaze of flame, as is typical. He even touched his thumbs together for a moment, thinking, oh, this is going to be sublime. But instead, he just holds his hand up and summons a bolt of fire, not wishing to cause any more damage than is necessary as he remembers. Yeah, right? It's coming! But, I'm just going to go ahead and firebolt instead.
Okay, these are the ones on... Are you firebolting one of the new swarms that just showed up, or the ones that are currently on?
I'm going to firebolt the one in front of Elise, so red 2.
Okay, sounds good. I want a piece of pie. Delicious. 13 hits.
Ah, much better. Very nice and warm instead of cold.
The scent of charred roasting meat fills the nostrils of Rudy, Lamorn, and Elise for but a moment before the waft of the thick, ammoniated nastiness of this tunnel sort of pushes its way back in, like fingers forcing their way into your nostrils and your mouth.
Thank you for that, Zirak.
Is that the end of your turn, sir?
Yeah, I moved a little bit away from to kind of center myself between the two fronts of battle, and I will ready my next action, and I will tell Moonlight to get a stiffer back.
Thalion?
Because, you know, it's quivering in fear.
I'm going to move red 2 underneath you again. Hold on. I'm just going to get these 2 dead swarms. And then since red 2 is in your space as the double swarm, I'll just put him back underneath.
Okay.
10, 20. 20 here, triggering your reaction. 25. 30, as this one is going to swarm in with you. 13 hits. Oh man, you guys are going to come through this unscathed. Again, it just cannot find purchase around the thick leathers you're wearing underneath your half-plate armor. Round 2, Elise. Your allies are defending you furiously, trying to keep these rats from crawling all over your exquisite violet skin.
Ew. Oh, hot dang. Oh. And that third one, dang it. Alright. Can I drop my crossbow and pull out my rapier for the one that's on me?
You can definitely do that.
To attack the one that's on me? Okay.
You drop your hand crossbow, and there is a sickening plopping sound, as you can imagine now that it is sort of submerged a little bit, and what you can only imagine is a mixture of rat urine and feces and mud, and you have no idea what that might do to the delicate mechanisms of your hand crossbow.
Yeah, she's just like, great, I'm not gonna think Nope, don't think about it right now. Worry about it later.
But you pull out your rapier with a flourish.
Yeah, and she just kind of rolls her eyes.
Ready to do some wet.
For 19. Um,
19 will definitely hit these places.
Right. Yeah, at least nobody's biting any rat heads off today. Alright.
The swarm trying to get at you, you cut through the last 3 of them, and they fall to the ground.
Just like, this would be wrong. Just regretfully looks back down at her bow.
Leomorn, you are covered with rats, and through your eyes and periphery, through the translucent pink Pegasus, you see another swarm sort of eyeing you with shiny eyes, saying that you're bleeding and this horse is not.
I'm agitated, so my eyes will start to glow their respective colors and have electricity start to spark as I just yell out, "Get off of me, you fuzzy bastards!" And with both hands, I will do shocking grasp on the swarm on me.
Okay, sounds good. 20 definitely hits. Again, the smell of charred, singeing meat and fur greet your nose in this kind of thick plume of damp, nasty smoke as the electricity surges through the swarm, killing most of them, but there's still a remnant there. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I think that's all we're gonna be able to do.
Okay, Moonlight.
Moonlight, feeling the admonishment of its master, is going to fly by rat swarm number 3 in front of the Pegasus and do the health action and fly back to my shoulder.
Okay. I believe this one is dead. Rovanian.
Noticing that they kind of have this well in hand down here, I'm going to go try to help Dally and finish off the swarm by him. I can walk through the swarm, right? Even if they get on me, I can still walk through them?
It's still considered like forcing your way through somebody, I believe. So you'd have to like shove past them.
That is correct. You cannot move through an enemy square, even a swarm square.
It's one of those they can move through you, but you would have a hard time moving through them.
Can I step up to in Dally spot to attack 4 and then push back? Is that something I can do, or?
I mean, you can go right here.
Oh, I didn't know if I could squeeze there. Okay. Thought there was a wall there.
If it fits, you sit.
Yeah, I'll move there, and I'll attack this one.
Okay. Oh yeah. So you're attacking 2?
4.
Okay. Your sword is reaping a terrible toll on these, but they're still there, and as you go back with your thrust, they seem to part. And your sword kind of bites into the mud before you lift it back up and flourish the mud off of the blade.
Oh, no problem. That's it for me. I'll stay here in case I can draw their attention off the alien.
That one is still alive. Landmark, they're gonna try to bite you, my friend.
Oh no.
Oh, I finally hit!
Oh!
Of course, always on woman.
It's a crit.
Another chunk off his shoulder. He won't mind.
Landmark, you take 8 points of piercing damage. As they have now sort of burrowed their way in towards your neck and are starting to go through the sort of scabs that these zombie left.
Hey,
They have crawled up your pant legs and are biting your inner thighs.
Prepare your...
Hey! No! Those are not fruits. Those are not fruits.
That's my no-no square. Don't touch me there.
Stallion, the,
Or like
the
they're
last...
biting his no touch spot.
Okay, Stallion, the swarm that's on you is going to make an attack at you. For 21. Take 5 points of piercing damage. It is Garshadow's turn.
Our shadow is going to bite. They're both on, right?
They're both technically on you.
He's biting at
Okay. That hits.
and that is his turn.
Rude.
Since I can't really do anything as it's so cramped in here, I call up Leomar and I say, shake it off, and I'll give you Bardic Inspiration.
Okay. Is that a D8?
That is a D8.
College of Swords, does that add to damage?
It's just attack, ability check, or saving roll.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Stallion.
The swing with a tramp finish on the floor.
Okay. $19 hits.
Bonus
Still
action,
alive.
other end of this stick.
22 hits.
And as a reaction, Garshadow's going to bite at the other ends of it.
Okay. 18 hits. Okay.
And that is my turn.
Valyria.
Valeria's gonna send out another sacred flame at the one biting Leomorn and be like, "Oh no, already! Hasn't he suffered enough?" And
Our Lady of Mercy, Valyria. Just stop, guys.
Leave Leomorn alone. Just leave him alone.
They definitely fail that one. Leomorn, again, your nose is assaulted by the smell of burning flesh and fur. As this thick, wafting smoke is not going to be able to get, you won't be able to get the smell out of your clothes for a while. But thankfully, the radiant fire of Valeria's divine magic has stilled the beating hearts of all the little monsters currently biting your neck.
Thank you.
okay, and then bonus action, spiritual weapon at number 3. I believe I get advantage because of the health action.
Yes, you do.
That is correct.
That's true.
You were down one more, weren't you?
Now, Carla, I just have to
that's
say, I think I love the idea of Moonlight and your spiritual weapon horse working together to take out enemies. That is just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So go ahead and toggle that advantage and let's see what happens.
Bird and horse.
19. Sadly, the swarm is going to use a legendary action. I was joking. That definitely.
Am I able to put my arms up just in case?
Lamorn, you watch as the horse is behind, the Pegasus behind, turns from you, spins around, and kicks out at the swarm, and you watch as pop, 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 as these little bodies are just exploding with the force of the...
I definitely need to learn how to do that one.
Is that your turn, Valeria?
I stay there.
It's canon. It's canon.
Is that like Blackpink, the K-pop band? Oh, Lamorn, it was only for a while, but this swarm charges at you.
Oh, bloody!
And it begins to climb over your body. And it is going to try to... With a 16.
That's a definite hit, yeah.
You take 5 points of piercing damage as they can smell the blood dripping from your neck, opened from their fallen comrades. And the thing that's really getting you is they're not behaving like normal animals. You think right now that they would be cowed, but they seem to be starved beyond the point of reason and are really sort of coming at you because they're hungry. Dromond.
Alright, I'm gonna go up there, step into Garshadow's space, attack the ones on Thalion.
Swarty definitely hits. Dromond is the most, like, benevolent future underworld boss that you'll ever meet. He's got employee bonuses. Holy shit.
Cunning action, disengage.
That's a lot of damage. I think this one's just straight up dead.
Flex tape, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, you eviscerated this swarm.
I'm gonna look at the new guy and be like, yeah, keep up.
Zirak, you just can't seem to get these things to stop eating Lamorn, and your sorcerers.
Well, we'll see if they can deal with this magic then.
Please catapult the rocket, Lamorn.
No, do not catapult the rocket, Leomorn.
I am going to step up to Leomorn and very carefully try to shocking grasp just the rats and not him.
Awesome. Rubbing his palms together like electric paddles trying to restart a heart, Zirak walks forward with electricity buzzing between his fingers. 20 definitely only hits the rats.
Not the face, not the face, not the face!
So is this surrounded by like a Faraday cage? You're watching as these white hot points of light streak in front of you, jumping from rat to rat, as a lot of them were just absolutely taken.
God damn.
However, there are 4 rats still clinging on for the hope of some sort.
Since I don't provoke after shocking grasp, I will go ahead and move back
Sounds good.
and try to keep my distance from the burning carcasses of rats all over Leo's body.
Hey,
At least Lemon is in pain. Marcy, are you there?
he's probably dying
Sorry.
of laughter right now.
Kind of. sorry.
The only rats seemingly left alive are the ones that are currently feasting on.
Dang it. Oh gosh. Okay. So it's just the ones that's on him. On Leomorn, right?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, well, can I... Ah, dang it. Okay. Can I use, I'm gonna use Thunderclap on the rat pile. Hopefully I can push them off. Something.
Thunderclap.
Yes. I
Okay.
don't know if that's gonna...
In our tiny
Okay.
cave?
Okay, so you do the motions with your hands. You yell out as this loud, thundering sound issues forth from you.
Oh god.
Go ahead and cast the spell, and the Swarm and Leomorn, I believe, need to make Constitution saving throws.
Wait, why is it asking me to... Something funky's happening. It's a cantrip, but it's asking me to cast it at a level. Yeah, what the heck? Give me a second here. It's not letting me cast.
Are you clicking on Thunderclap, or are you clicking on Thunderwave?
Thunderclap. I don't have Thunderwave.
You should. I think you should.
I think you have Thunderwave on your sheet, so make sure you're not clicking on Thunderwave. And make sure that you're clicking on Thunderclap.
Yeah, I don't have Thunderwave. It's not letting me cast Thunderclap, though. Whenever I click on it, it just brings up it like this blank. I don't know what's going on. Give me a second. I think it's... It says it's a cantrip, right? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. It's just asking me what to cast it at, and I'm like, it's a cantrip. I don't... There you go, I guess.
What the?
Let me finish inputting all the stuff on there since it wasn't inputted.
Oh, what the... Okay, sorry.
Actually, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete it. And I'm just going to pull Thunderclap. Okay. Alright, you should be ready to go.
Okay,
Ahead
cool.
and click Thunderclap.
Cool, thank you. There you go.
Leomorn, I need a DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
Oh, alright.
The rats somehow survive that.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
So the rats survived that?
Yeah, they rolled
survived
for
it.
Rats rolled an 18.
I was like, oh my god.
It says,
GG, well played, you vermin.
You create a burst of thunderous sound that can be heard up to 100 feet away. Each creature within range, other than you, must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take the damage. Okay, so the rats take no damage. The rats are crawling on Leomorn, which means that he is in the noise effect of the thunderclap and can clearly hear it. So Leomorn, I do need a Constitution saving throw from you to try to fend off the thunder damage.
Would it hit Rudy too?
Is it a radius of her?
No, it would not hit her because she's behind me. She's not.
No,
in
it's
front.
basically like a melee attack. I think it just does 5 feet. And
Yeah,
Okay.
it only does 5 feet of damage, so she wouldn't get affected because she's behind, not in front.
That is kind of interesting, Drummond. It says each creature within range, which means that it almost emanates from her body and anybody within 5 feet of her.
The one Shiv posted said self 5-foot radius.
Yeah, that's the one that I read off too. It said self. It's a 5 foot.
Oh, so
It's
it
whatever's 5 feet in front of
emanates.
me.
Okay, so it emanates from you. I'll need a con save from Rudy as well.
Oh.
You can do it, Rudy. You can do it.
Leomorn, you managed to plug your ears away from most of the noise. All of you managed to survive this loud thunderclap. However, I need you 3 to give me dexterity saving throws.
Uh-oh.
Out of curiosity, Mark, how loud is this thunderclap? Like, did we just alert every living creature within this cave structure that we're here?
You can hear the echoes going down the cave system.
Rad.
Okay, Rudy, you managed to jump out of the way. Shiv, you managed to jump out of the way. Leomorn, please give me a dexterity saving.
Oh, I did already.
Where is it? Oh, 19, you managed to jump out of the way. The rats also rolled a 10, which means they saved as the roof begins to collapse in a wet bloody pile on top of you, causing this portion of the tunnel to cave in. And this area is no longer accessible.
Eep.
Which area?
The way we came in.
Yeah, the way we came in from.
Okay. Elise, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, you've done enough already.
Leomorn, it is your turn. A quick succession of unfortunate events just sort of chain reacted with one another here. As these fucking rats just won't get off of you.
I'm probably to once again just grit my teeth, focus on the electricity, and do shocking grasp one more time to get him off of me.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and make your attack. Sadly, a 9 misses.
Don't forget he has inspiration, Bardic Inspiration if you want to.
Oh, you do have Bardic Inspiration given to you by Rudy. Shake it up.
Yeah, I'll burn it. Let's see if it works. Please.
Well, go ahead and roll a d8.
Oh, sorry.
But
sorry.
technically, go ahead and roll damage because you only need a 1 to hit them.
Oh, alright.
Just go ahead and take that Bardic Inspiration off.
It's off.
9 lightning will do it.
I hit the wrong button for that one.
And again, this time it is you yourself that once again puff yourself with this terrible burning hair cologne. As all the rats have seemingly been taken down, and the tunnel sort of again goes quiet. Though some of you are experiencing a ringing in your ears from the loud noise that was quite close to you guys. And the cave itself now feels eerily quiet.
Everyone alright?
What was that noise?
Well, I believe it was magic that caused the noise. I will snap my fingers and cause Moonlight to vanish because we are now trapped in a cave-in, and I don't want my owl to get crushed.
I gotta go examine the cave-in. I'm sure we can't move it, but maybe, is there like an air hole?
Technically, I can move it 1 stone at a time, 8 stones a day, and however many days it takes.
So as you look in this area, and it almost looks like the roof structure above you came in, and it sort of filled in like you're pouring a slushy into a cup with the lid on, and it just sort of, and it's just this muddy, stony morass piled up to this 5 to 6 foot tall ceiling. Like it's not really like this place doesn't look like it was cut and dug out for humans. You sort of move it away, and as you pull a handful away, some more mud kind of pours down, just like digging a hole in sand, pretty much.
Darn, if there was even a little bit of air I could get out. Just me, but...
Don't worry, we saw those openings in many houses. We just need to keep an eye out for another one as we progress through here.
So now faced with the dilemma of knowing... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say Thalian's logic seems sound. These rats have probably burrowed miles underneath this place.
Yet they're not big enough to drag the people around. There's something else down here.
From the prints we saw in the stories, these were probably just a little fodder. I believe there are larger ones down here that are standing on just 2 feet. Please, did you not say...
Well, please, lead on, Thalian, because that's not terrifying at all. Rats that walk on their hind legs and stand up and eat you? Yeah.
So you guys kind of have a dilemma of choice. Now, do you go south, where the swarm came from, or do you go north, the way Thalian was originally going?
Well, they both came from both directions, actually.
I think Rudy and Thalian should have a dance-off to see who leads.
Valeria, the voice whispers back in your head, "He's devolving into madness."
Oh gosh.
There is something here.
Thalian, you look towards this kind of sloppily made ramp that leads you up. It's hard to walk. You use the base of your polearm to kind of ski pull you and kind of keep you in place as you look up, and you see that there is a pile of bones further up. A large set of bones, maybe that of an adult. The smell of blood and rotted meat within this place is kind of at war with the ammonia smell.
I tighten the rag around my mouth and I'm checking to see if anything was left other than the bones of meat.
Scraps of cloth from what you can see, but the most jarring thing you're looking at here is you look at the bones, the ribs, you're seeing a lot of small gnaw marks, where it looks like tiny teeth sort of dug in towards the bone trying to get into the marrow, and you see where some of the actual femurs and the arms have kind of been broken, and you can see where it looks like the marrow has already been eaten out of some of the bones.
Well, that's not a good sign.
Not at all.
Rudy, the light is slowly leaving you.
What I noticed that Rudy's having a hard time seeing.
Yes.
Alright, then I'll...
You are smart enough to know that she is a human like Valeria and does not possess the keen eyesight of those with Fey ancestry.
I'll I'll lead with one hand back for ready to grab, and with the other
I will hold myself around you and grip you around the shoulders. Don't leave me down here. It's dark.
Just hold on for a minute, and I'll spin my hand around and I'll do the dancing lights to help illuminate the area.
As she's able to see the walls that are real close, she goes, "This isn't much better. Can we get out of here, please?"
Did you cast light, Leomorn? Did you?
Dancing lights.
Okay. I'll just put a torch. I'll just put a torch on you.
Like, just stay close to us, and hopefully we get out of here.
Come on, guys, before we get left behind. You don't want to be stuck down here by yourself, do you?
At that, I will clutch Leomorn ever tighter.
Let's move a little more quietly, since anything else down here might have been alerted to us. Let's not let them know where exactly we are, at least.
I'm going to delete that torch because nobody took it. Okay, Thalion, you begin to move through this just sloppy mire of mud. And you're seeing in places where it really squeezes you in. And you sort of have a panicking fear as you realize that in some places in this cave, being able to swing a weapon as large as yours, or perhaps Rovanian's, is going to be a very tough task.
With that thought in mind, I then kind of pat at my side just to make sure I still have the hand axes and the sword at my side.
Okay.
I look at Thalion and say, if you need to borrow a dagger, I hardly use mine.
These will do.
And also to Rovanian, because he's using a great sword, right?
I gestured to my waist. I have a dagger there.
Okay. Well, if you want to use two, you could dual wield. So, just saying.
Jeremy, go ahead and take that torch with you, and we'll say that you can see, with the aid of Leomorn's dancing lights, that he's constantly recasting as you guys are moving.
I don't see the torch.
Should be on your person.
It was under my person. I can't move it. I got my own.
I am moving pretty slowly, trying to be a little more cautious and stealthy.
Okay.
I'll try to be stealthy too.
Water drips further up ahead, and you're coming up on what seems to be a fork. A tunnel that continues what seems to be a general east direction, and now as you kind of crest the corner, you see that there's a split. One that goes here, and one that goes here.
We have a crossroads up ahead.
First the freaking zombie, now the goddamn rats. Anything else is gonna happen today?
Oh wait, what's that? are fast.
Let me see if I can do anything here. Thank you.
Hey guys, if we split up, we'll cover more ground, and we'll just report back to each other if we find anything.
We do have sending.
Wouldn't suggest that. We don't know how many of these things.
I was just about to say.
Splitting up also makes you easier to eat.
That sounds dangerous.
But Fred always suggests splitting up to cover more ground, you guys. That's the...
Who's Fred? Who's Fred?
Fred, Velma, Daphne, Shaggy, they always split up.
I got that.
Party we ran into?
It is another adventuring party I've heard of. They call themselves the Mystery Machine.
Yes, very, very bad reviews from what I've heard from their adventures.
I thought it was the Mystery Gang.
I've heard about them. That dog eats sandwiches. That can't be healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Mystery Machine was their wagon.
Who feeds their animal lasagna and pizza?
So Xeric is kind of throwing it out there that, hey, perhaps if we split up, we can cover more ground.
There are 8 of us now. We could split 4 and 4 and cover more ground that way.
I don't believe that is wise.
Sorry.
Well, the hallways are getting a bit narrow for our large group. And, I'm trying to come up with an intelligent solution, not a wise one.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I'll stick more with the wisdom. You could still get overwhelmed and we would not be able to hear or tell what happened to you. I'd rather not have another incident similar to what happened to me.
Well, I'm not suggesting going off by myself. I'm suggesting 3 other members of the party come with me. And likewise, so if something were to happen, at least one of us should be able to get away to tell the others. I don't know, it's just a thought, because the hallways are getting crowded and there's 8 of us in here. And I want to, not be down here any longer than we have to be.
And Drummond's taking off on his own.
I'm staying inside.
Droman's like, listen to those 2 debate. Fuck them, I'm just gonna go wander off. I like it.
I'm gonna wander as long as I can see another party member.
Yeah, you're totally in character. That's exactly what Droman would do.
Drummond, you make your way down the tunnel and you see that it splits again, this time one that slopes further to the east and almost what seems to be opening up into a small sort of gallery. And you see further up ahead, again, another blanket of what seems to be multiple rats swarming over and eating some.
More rats down this way?
I don't see any rats down this way, so I turn around to see my allies I can see their light down, the corridors. And I turn around to Rovanian and say, well, it looks like this avenue might be fruitless. Let's go back with the others.
And on my head.
So we're up ahead. There's 3 different paths down there. One of them's got a bunch of rats.
Deal with any more rats, Howard.
No more rats. No more rats for a day, please.
Ugh.
Well, I could probably just get rid of all of them in one fell blow, and I kind of touch my thumbs together and twiddle my fingers, if you guys know what I mean. Since I know this invisible god in the sky really wants to push the fireball button and make it blast out from me. Just kidding.
Give it a shot.
Yes, like that.
It did work the last time when we were in something similar called the sewers.
Xeric says there's a voice in my head that keeps saying, fire, fire, fire.
Blow it all
I'll wave my arm like, go ahead. After you. I'm gonna be back.
So Droman, which? Oh, never mind. I can see them in the darkness ahead.
And it's literally the only way to describe it is just a moving carpet of just a pile of numerous rats, just moving on top of each other, diving in, getting in. Some getting pushed out before hurriedly burrowing back in whatever they're sort of eating.
So my intention here is to step up to them, maybe staying 5 feet away from the mass of rats, and just blast them with the burning hand spell. So I'll move myself, into position. That's where I want to stand.
Okay. Did you already roll it? Give me a second here.
No, I didn't know if you were going to ask for initiative, since it's obvious that I'm going to run up and start combat.
They're not posing any threat to you as they're sort of busy. I'm going to give them disadvantage on this as they're duly focused on what they're trying to devour.
Oh, excellent.
Give me a second. My computer is just lagging like all hell here.
Watch, guys. Whatever they're devouring is probably something we need to know, and I'm just going to send it into Ash. This is perfect.
I was thinking that.
But I said I could go take care of him, and Droman said yes. So in character, my wizard would think, yep, I'm just going to go fry the rats.
Okay, they have disadvantage on this dexterity saving throw. They, I assume, fail with a What is that, 12?
That is 12 points of damage.
There you go. Since you actually did it.
Yes.
So you fire the fire and you start roasting them, and you watch as these rats don't actually attack. They begin to sort of retreat, and they start digging into the walls in this sort of response to the searing flames. And you watch as they're starting to dig small holes into the wall, trying to escape. You look underneath them, and then again you see what seems to be a partially eaten body, bone exposed, entrails sort of drug out and chewed on. Valeria.
Yes.
Can I inspect the body just to see if I can move the child?
Sure. You start to move up, Valeria. You're standing next to the wall, and then you hear a plopping sound. And you look, and the wall begins to move. And then the wall explodes outward towards you.
No.
As rushing out to meet you in combat are what seem to be small, child-sized humanoid rats wearing armor and weapons.
Oh my god.
What?
We're surrounded.
Do you want new initiative rolls?
Yep. Click on your tokens and just re-roll it, and it should pop right back up in.
And Ken, you rolled initiative like Jareth.
Yeah, I got a 5 in the first combat and a crit fail on this one. But, to be fair, I just had a turn where I burned a spell slot, so I don't mind going last.
I love these little buggers so much.
Are you able to swing the sword in this area? Or is it tighter?
This is definitely a larger opening than the small tunnels. And what's going to happen now is that they're going to get a surprise. And I lost all thought of what I'm doing.
They throw their weapons down and surrender.
SOS, SOS, SOS.
Valeria, you're watching this extremely large rat, and I'm sorry it's you, but you moved there.
Yep.
Sort of running, wearing what seems to be this leather sort of loincloth, and in its hand, like you see them carrying what seem to be bone daggers and cudgels. Hold on, I gotta... No! I changed my mind. Because you guys are on kind of high alert after the pack rats, so I'm going to say no surprise round because I really didn't get to surprise. So let's go with... I was hoping you guys were going to come in through the north tunnel. Garsha.
Do I actually see them out of the hole yet?
You hear sort of Valeria, guys! But... Yeah.
Rats, giant rats.
Okay, I'll have Garshadow just move in front of me and he'll ready his action if something. Well, actually, next to Valeria. He'll ready his action if something gets near.
Okay. Drummond. You're hearing a rat.
Alright, I'll get there. Hurrying in there to see what Valeria is talking about. Don't see nothing. So I guess I'll ready a dagger to throw if something up comes.
You guys can't see them?
I can see them. I just didn't know if they were in our room yet.
No, you actually watch as the cave wall here sort of exploded outwards, and you're seeing what seems to be a small cavernous-like tunnel that's been kind of burrowed out, and they're starting to rush out of it. So you can see.
Oh, if I can see him, I'll throw a dagger at Red 8.
Okay. A 16 definitely hits.
Alright, and I will stay there.
You watch as the dagger takes it in the shoulder, and it's done a lot of damage to this, but there's this sort of desperation sort of pouring forth from the eyes. Chris, you'd have to drop your sword into the ground, pull out an arrow and knock it, and then fire it. And then you would have to pick up your sword the next round, dropping your bow on the ground.
So that's my turn.
Okay, sounds good. Now this loincloth rat, 5, 10, 15, sort of runs and kind of leaps into the air. It's going to try to attack you.
Okay.
Then you see this one is just bearing what seems to be very grimy claws. Oops. That's a 12. So. And I mean, it is the creepiest thing you see in front of you. This is literally a furry child with the face of a rat trying to claw at you. Rudy.
I'm still having existential crisis, so I'm just going to ready my action to move wherever Leomorn is going.
Okay. Rovanian, you step in to check the bones, and then you start to hear what seems to be a ruckus as Garshadow kind of growls out into the cavern at the sign.
Okay, so I'm going to move then to go check out what the ruckus is. I'm moving 25 feet to here. And then I guess I'll move to here. And then I'm going to rage and attack this guy.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're going to cleave this guy in two. It's exactly
It's
what
radiant.
A shower of gore, Valeria, kind of washes over your body as your new companion has come up and literally bisected this guy from the top of his skull out through the groin as the two parts just sort of fold away like a banana.
I'm assuming he's the only one in range right now that I can see. I can't see any others, right?
You can see the ones that are trying to come out of this small cavern that's been kind of dug out.
I'll just stand here as a wall for them, I guess.
5, 10, 15. Did you count your difficult terrain with your 40 feet of movement?
Oh, I didn't know there was what was difficult at.
15.
It was 30. I moved 30 basically when I.
Okay.
I didn't know it was difficult.
Okay, so you can't see. Are you in the forest?
The
What?
ranger one wasn't actually bound to the terrain.
I think we had this discussion before. And this is different in combat than I believe than exploring.
That's what I was curious about.
Because I think that the favored terrain only works when you're actually like out exploring, but in combat it's different, I believe.
That is correct. Favored terrain works for overland travel, but not on an actual combat map where there's difficult terrain. It still applies.
Your natural explorer is the forest. I mean, I don't think there's anything on your sheet that'll help you with that. Favorite enemy, undead, natural explorer, forest, your wanderer feature. So, yeah, I don't think you have anything that would help you unless you're out exploring in the forest. Okay. Alright, Rovanian, you cut that one in half, and you sort of turn, and you see what seem to be more glittering eyes sort of trying to pour forth from the small cavity that's been kind of dug out into the mud. Okay, and in response, 5, 10, 15, this pitiful creature is going to try to claw at you. Ooh, with a 19. Okay, you take
I take
4
2.
piercing. Go ahead and give me a Constitution save.
I take 2 though, right?
Yes, you definitely have his non-magical claw attack. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm terrible right now.
Five, 10, 15, 20. This one sort of circles back around, kind of aiming in between your legs. It's going to attack with advantage. As much like the smaller swarm, these larger rats are sort of acting in the same way. Missing with a 10, your defense on high alert. Elise, there is a melee afoot in front of you.
Let's see, she has to move up first because she doesn't see what's going on. She just hears people fighting. Um, 5, 10, 15. Ooh, yeah, I don't think she can really see anything except for... Can she see one? Or is that a rock one in between?
10, 20.
Blue
I
one.
mean, you can move to here with your full movement with the difficult terrain. And you can see, like, the ones that are surrounding Rovanian, at least.
Okay. Shit. Yeah, she's gonna do Vicious Mockery. That's all she can do.
On which one?
On the number 2.
Okay, number 2 needs to make a wisdom save. These guys aren't very wise. I say that, and I still roll a 14.
Which is the save.
I don't know how I do it, but I do it. All my negative modifier wisdom guys roll high wisdom. It's kind of a baffling thing here. Okay, you have a bonus action if you wish to use it.
Not yet.
Okay.
That's all she can do.
This poor guy who just ate a dagger. Okay, he's going to retreat further in. Jared, there's an odd scent that... Jareth. Rovanian, there's an odd scent that sort of wafts in your general direction that is quite musky and pungent, that sort of flows over the scent of ammonia and mud as this thing retreats. 10, and you lose vision on it.
Hey, come back here with my dagger. Gonna have to replace another dagger.
5, 10, 15. For a 19.
That will hit. Take 2
2
piercing.
points of piercing. Thalion.
Dahlia is going to move into Marshall's space for a second, and we're just going to stab out that 2.
Okay, the one next to it with the shield, I wish he wouldn't have rolled, is going to throw his shield up in a very odd gesture in front, making this a disadvantage. Okay, the 21 still cuts through this sort of mishmash of armor that these things are wearing. I'll say yes. I'll say another one burns a reaction. I believe a 16 still. A 16 still hits. As you twirl around and like a cue stick, thump him right in the eye, and you watch as it falls to the ground, twitching and dead. Leomorn.
Alright, hearing the commotion, I'll look over to Rudy and say, stay close, and I'll put my hand on my chest to cast Mage Armor, and then I'll just move up behind Thalion.
Okay.
That triggers my ready action to follow him.
From this angle, Leomorn, the only one you can really see is blue 1. But he'll have half cover.
I don't think I'd be able to hit him right now. Wait, would I be able to? Or no, I already spurred a spell, didn't I?
Yep, that's right. You cast Mage Armor. My bad, I should have paid attention.
That's alright. That's all I can do for now.
Okay, this one is going to 10 move. Valeria, this strange armored creature is going to try to attack you.
Okay.
Your defense is just too much for this small, pitiful creature trying to hold this weapon. It'd be almost comical if it wasn't so terrifying to kind of... As you're still trying to figure out what the hell is this thing. Next attack on blue 3 has...
Yeah.
I can't see the wrench right now. This guy's dead. Okay. You hear a strange voice call out from inside, and it's odd that it speaks almost in common, and you hear this, quick, kill a man thing! And you watch as the 3 is going to use its reaction to attack you, as the voice is going to use an ability called the Claw of Rage. Earning the Musk of Rage. This gives him advantage. Still missing with an 11. Not much rage to be had. That's.
Things can talk?
These creatures are very pitiful.
That means we question them.
10.
If one's going to stay alive.
15. This clan rat is going to attack with advantage. Oh, man, Valeria is blessed by the lady today.
I am.
Okay, this one doesn't have much room, so it's going to have to move up and then move back. So it's going to take an attack advantage against Valeria, but Valeria, it is going to draw an attack of opportunity. This time with a 23. You take 8 points of piercing damage as the rusty short sword digs into the soft spot in your hip, where the armor is not protecting you. As quickly it dashes in, slices you, and moves back out.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your attack. Innate misses. This thing is almost too quick. to your eyes. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 around the stalagmite.
Marsha's gonna use his reaction that he has something right in range.
Go for it. The 14 definitely hits this little guy. And he he just rips the head off this. You're watching, like, there is a stark contrast between what you're seeing. The ones coming out of the north tunnel look emaciated. You can see the skin and the bones moving as they walk through, and they're only wearing what seem to be these loincloths covering their mid-range, as their tails are sort of just hanging back, snapping at the ground, and you're looking at what seem to be more trained warriors coming out of this other one, sort of moving their way in, trying to fight and get at Valeria. I'll just put an X on this guy. It's going to see its friend's head get bit off by a giant cat, and then it's going to go 10, 15, and then vanishes from sight. Five, 10, 15. It's going to try to sneak around 20. Drawing an attack of opportunity from Revenge.
From me? You say I can do attack of opportunity?
Yes.
But this doesn't count as the, I can't use the divine damage, right?
Nope, this will just be a regular raging attack. 14 hits. With just a flick of the wrist, you plop its head off like you're cutting an apple free from a tree. Zirak.
Woohoo! I get a turn! I didn't see the initiative thing move to me yet. But there it is. Well, I think that it looks like they're on the retreat. From what I can tell, they're trying to get away. So I'm just going to clear the room that I'm in so I can get a better look at these bones. Good luck, guys. I'm going to go ahead and firebolt rat number 1, green.
Okay. I mean, they're burrowing into the wall now, and they've kind of got some distance in. You know they're getting away from you. But go ahead and...
so they're not in the room, actually? You just still have their tokens there?
They're burrowing their way out into the wall, trying to get away from the...
Okay, then I won't attack them. I was under the impression that we would want to be in this room after this fight, so I was going to clear the rats out of it, but if they're going to clear out themselves, then I will instead focus fire on the things that are left here. So I will attack this one, blue number 4, the one that's attacking Valeria.
I don't even think you even need to roll for that.
Taking careful aim at the one that was getting on Valeria, and I didn't like that at all. Those dirty creatures don't belong there next to her. So I will do 38 points of damage to it with a fiery bolt from my hand.
Wow. Okay, he is incinerated. And where a rat man once stood is just a pillar of ash that collapses to the.
Yeah, that was pretty hot, wasn't it, Valeria? And then I'll get ready to aim at the next one.
Okay.
Oh, nice! I love it, Mark! That's exactly what I did.
I fucking pay for it, so I might as well use
That's
it.
rad! I love it. Dylan, I just peed a stream of fire on my character.
I'm gonna cast Spiritual Guardian.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Okay, so it explodes around you. I believe everything happens on the beginning of their turn.
Yes.
Describe to me what the flittering spiritual guardians are around.
They look like butterflies.
Okay.
I'm gonna swat at a few. Have you ever been in a butterfly
pink
house? Those
butterflies.
things are vicious. I'm still gonna swat at them. They're bugs.
Good butterflies.
Killer butterflies of doom.
Top of round one, you guys hear a bellowing roar with a deep bass of a very large animal.
Where do you hear where it's coming from?
It's coming from behind you. Gar Shadow.
Garshadow's gonna bite that friend too.
Okay. Child's play. Go ahead and roll damage. As rat heads are just being flung off of bodies. It's kind of like an alligator at this point, where Gar Shadow grabs its tiny head and its massive mouth, and like an alligator just picks it up and starts shaking it until there's like this satisfying pop and crack, and the body just flings down the hallway and he spits out the skull. Drummond.
Oh, I was gonna say after this that he's gonna move back to my side.
Okay.
I'll attack that guy right there. I believe this guy had advantage on him.
That is correct, sir. Stabby, stabby indeed. He is
And I
most
will-
definitely dead.
And I will stay there.
Finally. 5, 10,
The rat say that?
15, 20, 25. This triggers your reaction. 30. As this large, looming
man.
monstrosity of
Oh,
stitched
man.
flesh and muscle begins piling down towards you. 20, I believe, hit. "20 indeed hits. Okay. Alright. He is going to try to multi-attack and lay into you. Waiting for my sheet to load. $21. As a large fish comes and just smashes you for 9 points of bludgeoning damage. And we'll say it's too cramped to do that. He's going to try to hit you with another fist for a crit.
Oh no!
Okay, so the base damage is 21 plus, we'll take the 8. 21 plus 8 for a total of 29 points of damage, as the first one was a large right cross that you got your polearm in the way and kind of used it to deflect most of the blow that scraped against you, but that left your entire right side ribcage open as a missiling fist the size of a Christmas ham just buries itself into the rib. And you definitely hear a crack, and there's definitely going to be some bruising and bleeding from that internally.
I agree with you, Valeria. If Thalion goes down, I'm going to be quite peeved.
Drummond, I'm going to move you really quick. Okay, that guy's dead. Rovanian, it is your...
Noticing the much larger threat versus these small, kind of pitiful little rat men. I have a question though. Can I attach to the cat and back out? How does that work? I was sorry, I never sure how these spaces
So
work.
with extra attack, you can attack this one in front of you, and if you kill it, you're free to move and then use your other attack. But if you want to dash to get over there due to the difficult terrain, especially with the rat body here that's kind of blocking your way, and the rat bodies that Droman is standing on, you'll have to use your action to dash, which would incur an attack of opportunity from the Skaven Slave. But I mean, they're pretty meek, so...
Okay, so if I kill this one, I can then try to get over and attack that guy then, you're saying? Or
you'll be able to make it to these two squares.
40, so...
These two squares.
Okay, I might as well finish this guy off then.
$14 hits. I don't even think you need to roll damage.
He's the last one alive, right?
He is the last one that is alive around you.
I'll move there then, for now.
Okay. Rudy, give me a perception.
You need a perception check?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm too scared for rational thought right now.
The noise going on in front of you, the flashing of lights, it's kind of too much for your senses here within. I mean, you're literally being assaulted by smell, sound, and light moving back and forth, and it's really throwing you off your game.
So I will, I see there's a big, serious creature here. And I see that their fighter is previously injured. So I will point to it and say, you're too tough for that to take you down. I'm going to cast Healed Word.
Okay. Go ahead and re-roll that one. So go ahead and re-roll a d4. Ooh. Okay, so that is 10 points of healing to Thalen.
And then I'm going to assume my true strike stance against this rat ogre.
Okay. Five, 10, 15, 20. 25 to that. Leomorn, through the sort of gaps that you can see beyond the tunnel where this large rat has emerged, you see another rat, this one wearing some more metalish armor, and in its hand you see what seems to be a short sword and a rusty barbed whip.
Would I be able to like point it out towards everybody else?
You can sort of call out there's another one behind it. But he's going to keep his distance right there. Elise.
She is going to... Yeah, she's going to cast Dissonant Whisper at the big giant thing. Couple number 1.
Okay.
By Thalion.
This is awesome.
Wait, okay, so I think I cast it. Yeah, level 1. Oh, or I can do that.
Okay. This is great. Okay, he's going to attempt a wisdom saving throw, and you'll see what happens if... Okay, he fails. He will take the 14 points of psychic damage, and upon taking the psychic damage, you watch as this creature begins to go berserk.
Awesome. Great. Just what I intended.
You start to hear the sound of what seems like a whip behind it. It's the sort of language you can't hear. And you're watching this creature sort of grabbing at its mind and begin to like slam at the walls around it. And it is shit's getting dead.
I'm gonna...
Dead. Dead. Marcy, was there anything else you wanted?
Yes. I'm gonna give Thalion a bardic inspiration and say,
Okay.
I think you need this.
Is this one dead up?
Please get it. Kill it.
Please, spiritual guardian.
And that one up there was dead. Okay. This guy. Drummond, you feel a rock slam into the back of your head from behind as a sling attack from inside the cave has got you. And you turn around after taking the damage, and you see it's that damn rat with your dagger in its shoulder.
Alright, that's gonna hit.
5 points of bludgeoning. and it's going to retreat further back in.
I'm
Leomon,
coming for my dagger.
Alright, and I can't get a shot at the guy behind, can I?
yeah. Hold on.
They figure this.
Yes, you can.
I can.
You can.
Alright, I am probably going to yell out to everybody around, there's someone behind it! Kill him! And I'll throw my hand out and I'll try to do a Ray of Frost to see if I can nail him.
Please. 22 will hit. Here you go, Lamar. Just for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ooh, and the beams of color can change from red to blue.
So just since I keep devouring you with tiny rats, I'll give you a beam of ice.
Thank you.
Beam of frost ray.
Dahlia.
Dalian kind of spits out some blood and kind of grips his side and just like, Korshen, hold him for a second. And I disengage, rolling kind of behind Raven as I'm prepping to do something to take care of that wound.
Okay, it's going to attack at you.
I disengaged.
Yeah. Too bad this thing's berserk.
Oh no.
For a 21, you get slammed for 13 points of blood.
I see you're disengaged. I raise you berserk.
So he cracks you in the side of the temple as you try to move out of the way and duck underneath. And you're watching now as the saliva is sort of frothing out of the corner of its mouth, and the eyes are beginning to bulge at what seems to be now the top of his head seems to be almost undulating and moving in a very gross way.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, great.
Does that still take my action disengaging if he's still swinging?
You took your action to disengage and moved away because you didn't know that he could do this. He is not a sentinel, so he does not stop your movement, but this ability that he has allows him to make those attacks.
Thanks
So
for
his
letting me know,
reaction-
Valian.
His reaction is burned. And Drummond's like, oh god. I wanted to take you guys out of your element. Dalian, you step. Where did you go? There you are, I see you. Okay. At the end of your turn, can you do anything with your bonus?
I can't remember since we never specified if any of my healing salves were bonus action or action.
No, none of them would be bonus actions, because that would only be the purview of a spell. Okay. This guy dead? This guy's dead. Droman standing on this dead. This guy is hearing the sound of what's going on outside and the maddened roaring of a large rat ogre, and he is going to jump back in the hole where he came from. Skaven Slave is dead. Clan Rat is going to spurt his own musk of fear, and he is going to retreat into the hole from whence he came. These rat swarms they pieced out. They don't want none of this.
Oh, your R is not on. That's why, Carla. So you probably forgot you had it on.
Oh,
One of those rats at least would be in spirit.
this guy. Nope, not this guy. This guy. He is currently in difficult terrain. He needs to make a wisdom save. Sorry, Carla. She's never going to want to play my games again. This one. Wisdom save. Normal.
It fails.
So go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay, let me.
And then. Can spiritual weapon is just. No, I mean, Spirit Guardians is just. What do you call it? Difficult terrain. Once you step outside, it doesn't halt your movement if you fail or anything, right? It just takes damage. Oh, never mind. He's dead.
Right, he's gone.
Sorry, I was in Dylan's room for a quick sec. Did you ask me a question?
Oh, it's okay. It's moot. He died.
Question answered.
No,
Torn
because
asunder by his butterfly.
Spirit Guardians, that it's just difficult terrain to move around inside. If you fail to save, it doesn't hinder or stop your movement. You just take the damage in the difficult terrain.
If you fail this, it's always difficult terrain whether you make or fail to save.
Right, but it doesn't stop your movement if you fail.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, I think this guy. Ten. Drone. You watch another one come out with something swinging in its hands, and he's going to throw another sling at you for a 12.
12
As you sort of duck this one and see it coming, and then he sort of and he sort of jumps out of the way as you kind of lock eyes with it, and then runs back.
I'm calling for you too.
Zero.
This is the first time I've seen Drummond this mad before. Go for a dagger.
Right, so as I understand it, there is a giant rat ogre standing right next to me.
So you're sitting around this corner, and this is what you see.
Yeah.
You're in this hallway, and you hear this bellowing roar, and you watch as all of your companions sort of turn in this general direction. And you literally watch two fists the size of Volkswagen Beetles punch Thalion in the face. And then you're like, oh god. And then you watch as Thalion sort of like tries to get away as this large fist pokes out again and punches him as he's sort of limping and trying to back away. Accompanied by more and more roars that are almost shaking the walls in their ferocity.
Okay, so I'd like to kind of imagine that Zarak almost timidly just peeks his head around the corner and sees this raging beast of a rat thing next to him. And says, "Oh, that's not fun." I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull a Leo and make sparkly fingers and touch this thing because I want to get away from it. So I'm gonna go ahead and shocking grasp the guy next to me. I gotta reach out and grab his calf with my shocking grasp.
You're doing a blind grab.
Yep.
Not just bulging muscular calf.
Sadly, I don't have a lightning animation, so we'll just go prepare.
Rudy goes, Zarak, that's not his leg.
Nice. What did I grab exactly? Well, at least it hurt it for 15 lightning damage. Whatever I grabbed. And then I'm going to go ahead and move away because I don't like being standing next to this thing that could probably squish me into paste with its large foot.
As you move away, one of the big hands comes over and slams against the wall as you sort of duck and turn in and get...
All right, so I know I'm moving closer to the. So I imagine as Zerak's backing up, he's looking at the holes where the rats burrowed to escape, and kind of like looking back and forth. Like, I hope they don't jump out there and jump on my neck or something. You know how if you go into a room where you just know there's freaking spiders, and you're looking everywhere for the spiders? That's how I imagine Zerak is doing. There's rat holes all over the place. But there's a big, giant ogre rat in front of me, so I'm kind of taking the lesser two evils here. And that will end my turn.
Sounds good.
So 5 feet here, and then she's gonna bonus action heal Valiant at 3rd level because he's looking pretty beat up. 3rd levels.
Thank you.
Healing word. Come on.
What level was that?
It's just taking a little bit to load.
What
Yeah.
level?
3rd.
Ooh, okay.
And then I guess I'm gonna Sacred Flame, the big.
He fails, he'll take the 6 radiant.
And that's where I'll stay for now.
Top of round 2, you guys watch as the creature wrenches his hands from the crater it just made in the side of this muddy wall as both hands go over its head. As you can tell that it is in obvious mental pain. And you watch as the muscles begin to grow. And you watch and you hear the bones cracking and expanding as he is starting to get bigger and bulkier.
Oh no!
And that's where we're going to end it today.
Oh, darn, I want to attack again.
We're going to pick up next session as this giant amalgamation of rat flesh is sort of like mutating before your very eyes. I hope you guys like my Ratmen.
Oh yeah, they're wonderful.
Skaven are the cool.
Excellent. Rip, Bo.
But I
Hey
said
Doug, you were right. They were Skaven.
it didn't occur to me until yesterday, and then I felt stupid for not realizing it.
This is fun. I'm glad you guys went down this corridor.
At least, in quotations, at least she knows what the heck the guy was talking about now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Not just rat people, they're more like a colony.
To me, every time you do something, it feels like I'm picking on you, but I'm not. This is stuff that I've had planned, and it's like, oh no. Like on any other person, that Dissonant Whispers would have been fucking awesome, but against this particular creature, you kind of broke the mental sort of slave chain that the person behind it with the whip has in controlling it, and now it is just sort of...
It's alright. That's why as soon as you said it goes berserk. It was like, oh, I caused you to go insane. Oh, great.
Somebody needs to cast Calm Emotion.
I'm just glad I'm
Totally fine.
Right on, guys. Welcome to the stinky poopy hell that is the Skaven Underwarren underneath Apple Willow, and
Welcome to the Borderlands.
yeah, we'll pick up here next Tuesday, and you guys kind of have an idea now of what is perhaps taking these humans, but you have no idea why. So thank you guys. Doug, I hope I don't kill you.
Thank you.
Again.
That was fucking brutal.
Again.
And
At least
That was,
that should
that
be
was a
fun.
fun role play,
if you did it
guys,
this time,
and
it
thanks
would
for
be fair.
thanks for enjoying I enjoyed the recap in the beginning. That was fun to do too. So
Oh, that
game.
was excellent. Xeric has been indeed learning how to tell stories from hearing Elise all this.
I'm taking pointers from you, Marcy. Yeah, glad you joined, Chris. It's fun. As always, I love having games with you because we've been gaming since we were 12, 10, whatever.
I was going to tell America, if anything's interesting next tech round is to do something that rhymes with feckless.
Nice. All right, well, good night, everybody.
Okay.
Night, everybody.
Before you go,
See you guys next week.
see you next week. And Ken, if you're still there, no, you already signed off.
Oh, you're talking about your card.